on the goblin the entire time.
And we are live. Good evening, everybody. We are back for another Curse of Strahd episode. Obviously, we are a day late. We should have been doing this yesterday, but I had to work, so we're doing it this evening instead. Before we get ready, couple of announcements. Make sure you go check out the YouTube. All VODs from both both stories go up to the YouTube every week. Hit the subscribe button, follow, and hit the bell to get notifications when a new video goes up. Generally, pretty much the very next day, once, like again for tonight's episode, will go up tomorrow night, and Sundays normally goes up on Monday. Also, too, make sure you check out the socials, the Twitter, Discord. Join the Discord, come and hang out with us. I'm always around, so I'm in the Discord. If there's enough people there, we can get some ideas running for the next homebrew campaign. It's going to be a while off, but I want to get some ideas out there now so I can start thinking about some stuff. We will be at the end of the homebrew campaign, probably take a couple of weeks off. We'll do a couple of just chatting shows with as many of the cast that can be there as possible, talking about the previous campaign, how things sort of went out, sort of how it all went for them, and any questions they have for me as a DM and vice versa. Any questions you guys as viewers have for the players and for the DM for that campaign, because that campaign is nearing a close. I would estimate somewhere between the next 5 to 6 weeks we should possibly see the end of Paradigm Bold campaign. It'll be kind of sad to see the end of that campaign. It's been a really cool campaign, but by the same token, it's going to be really exciting to get into the multi-shot with Yanti DMing for us. I'm really looking forward to playing in that particular multi-shot. And then, of course, we are also looking at Vampire the Masquerade with Baz, aka Hit, storytelling us for that. And yes, the hardcore mode, I'm actually kind of interested in maybe doing the next campaign, homebrew campaign, in a very gritty, more hardcore setting. So Baz, if you want to let the rest of the people know, because not all of them were here when you were telling us before.
Yeah, so I actually purchased 5e hardcore mode add-on, or I purchased a hard copy and it got a digital copy. So I'm reading through it at the minute, but it's actually really simple. It seems to be really simple. It's similar to sort of game makeups that I've come up with in the past, or am and currently working on. But yeah, I think it's a good way to go. For those of you who don't mind having a spare character or two in the wings, because usually in hardcore modes there is a death or two earlier on in the game.
Definitely. So I'm definitely keen to look at that, whether DMing it or playing in it. Either way, I'm happy either. I'm pretty stoked with that sort of stuff. So that's something to consider for the future when we finish up the VTM, whether we're going to decide to do another homebrew campaign with myself DMing it, or with one of the other many DMs that we actually have in this group. Baz, Yanti, Roast and Chicken as a DM also, and Sadiq has DM'd as well. So we have got a large collection of people here who can DM a campaign. So you guys, too, I want you guys to think about it. If you would be interested in possibly DMing a campaign once we've gotten through the multi-shot and the VTM, if you're looking at maybe DMing a homebrew campaign with a hardcore rule set, let me know if you're interested in doing that, and we'll talk about it at some point. So we'll definitely look at that. I'm keen to look at it either way, playing or DMing. So I think it'll be kind of fun. Something a little different than your standard D&D. But I think that's about everything I got to say this week. I don't have my next month's roster yet, but from what I understand, I don't have many shifts on it, so it should not interfere with any of the D&D games for the next 5 to 6 weeks, hopefully. But again, if anyone has an issue that cannot make it on a regular Wednesday or Sunday night, hit me up in the Discord. Let me know as early as you possibly can, so that we can make arrangements either to shift it a night or postpone to a following week. That way I can let the Discord know and the Twitter and make sure the viewers all are aware as well. So, last session, guys, was very interesting indeed. We had some interesting occurrences. So we're going to get back and get into our recap from last we left off. I don't know if Zadriel went rogue. The whole group just made a decision. They rolled with it, and it made out for me personally, it was a very entertaining and funny episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The chat seemed to thoroughly enjoy it as well. So let's see what happens in the aftermath. So last we left off, you had all gathered in the front of the Valaki jailhouse where Karnos was being held for drunken disorderly. Skathis, not wanting to be involved, decides to head back to the inn. Mainly because Trashman wasn't here and I didn't want him to get killed while he wasn't here. So essentially the discussion was had that Skathis basically decided that attacking or attempting to break Skathis out wasn't the best laid plan, and he would prefer to see Skathis rot in jail, basically. So Zadriel tries to find out the loyalty of the guards and approaches them and attempts to make early payment to have Karnos released. This didn't really go too well, and after speaking to the superior of the two guards on the door, she decided that smashing one with a shield was a good idea and renders him unconscious, which was with non-lethal attack. Unfortunately, the second guard raised the alarm, and Zadriel, reacting to this, killed him with a rather severe blow to the head with her warhammer, exploding his brains all up the wall, ultimately. This did not turn out well for them indeed, as the alarm was sounded. The guard that stay at this jailhouse / barracks was woken, and the rest of the Valakian city guard was alerted with the sounding of the alert horn. Also, with the sounding of that horn, the militia that was pretty much employed by the Valakian city guard also joined this battle at some point. So the bulk part of this battle took place. Zadriel in the front of the guardhouse, guards rolling out. Emilia causes a bit of a rainstorm in front of the jailhouse and uses her abilities to blind several of the guards that were swapped out pretty quickly. It was pretty evident from the back and forth that the Valakian guard were well organized and had dealt with different types of classes for magic users and martial classes, and managed to hold their own relatively well. Emilia backed into an alley to avoid detection, and as the rest of the guard and the militia joined the fray, Zadriel ended up on the roof of the jailhouse using her Misty Step to get out of harm's way, but essentially ended up under a barrage of arrows. Adok, however, being the sneaky little shit that he is, decided he was going to run off and try and set the Baron's house on fire with his cannon, and ran into a patrol. Part of this patrol didn't really believe what was going on, and when the alarm was sounded, they came back to where they'd left him and essentially arrested him, rendering him unconscious in the process. Fibblestub, however, did succeed in causing the wee fire on the Baron's home, causing some confusion and having his personal staff come out and try and put the fire out, not really having much luck, throwing buckets of water over it, spreading the oil that had set alight. However, Isek eventually joined the battle and charges Fibblestub, and ultimately renders Fibblestub also unconscious. Emilia backs herself further away to try and avoid detection, but eventually is also caught, as is Zadriel, who is eventually brought down in a hail of arrows. And one by one, you're all arrested, including Skathis, who is making his way back to the Blue Water Inn and was stopped by a couple of the militia and the city guard who were sent to track down all of the strangers that were staying in town. You were all put into cells for the evening, dark, dank cells. During this time in the cells, as this battle took on, Karnos had a little bit of fun, attempting to determine how intelligent these guards really were. Kind of almost tried to make an escape, but ended up with probably a bit of a broken arm for his troubles. Not that it seemed to worry him too much. In the morning, Isaac approached you all, basically letting you know what was happening, that you were all facing banishment from Valaki for your actions. During the meeting with the Baron later that day, you ended up confronting him. Zadriel, spokesperson for the group, decided to unveil her wings, and during the conversation with the Baron, basically says that we are agents of good. We're not here to hurt anyone. We want to help you with Strahd. That's our goal, is to defeat Strahd and all that is evil in the land. The Baron, pondering this for a moment, then offers you a solution. He offers you an alliance with himself against Strahd. An alliance with Valaki for its people. But in order to seal this alliance, he has asked for Zadriel's oath as a paladin, which he knows is binding and that a paladin will not break. If a paladin does break their oath, then they risk everything that they believe in and stand for. He has also agreed to revisit the sentencing for the stocks, and agreed that maybe the sentencing of the family was a bit harsh, and he was happy to revisit those sort of situations on a case-by-case basis, given your allegiance. From there, you were given leave, or essentially placed under house arrest, taken back to the Blue Water Inn, where a contingent of militia and city guard and ISEC have been commissioned to watch you for the next 24 hours, where the following morning you'll be taken back to the Baron and you will give him your decision on what you've decided to do. You've been warned not to try and escape or use magical means, as you would be ultimately rearrested and your banishment would move forward immediately. So this is essentially where we do pick up with the group now. As you guys have been escorted back to the Blue Water Inn, you make it back to the inn. Essek instructs the guard to remove the remaining wrist shackles, as your ankle shackles had been removed so you could walk freely towards the inn. Once at the inn, Essek then tells you once again you are to remain at the inn. You can be in your rooms or in the inn itself, but you must not leave the inn until you've come to your decision. So we will now turn over to our heroes and put it over to you guys. You are at the inn. You are inside the main part of the inn. They've taken you back there. Isaac has spoken to the owner and informed him of what's going on. And he doesn't seem overly happy that that they're using his establishment as a makeshift sort of jail for the time being, but he agrees. Isaac does hand over a little bit of gold to help him sort of deal with the situation. So it's up to you what you're doing. You've been escorted inside. The guards are now outside of the inn. There's probably, I would say, if you look out the door, there's 2 waiting directly outside the door. There is another 4 to 6 that are positioned in different places around the building, along with Essek as well.
Is Essek inside the building?
Not at this point, but he has said that he will be in and out throughout the day and the evening.
Sweet.
So at this point, you are left alone to discuss your decision as you requested.
Have the shackles been removed?
Yes.
Okay.
Adok would like to storm up the stairs, go to the room, and kick in the door.
So you are obviously you are allowed out of the inn to go around, because the stairs to your guys' room is on the exterior of the building. So you are allowed to go out of the inn and up those stairs. You are watched as you do so. You leave the inn and head up the stairs. You cross the balcony to the room where you guys are staying, and you kick in the door. It's not locked, so it's not exactly hard to do.
Is Kathis in the room?
The rest of them are all downstairs in the main bar area. So you would have walked up there on your own.
Skatus is captured with us, Adok, remember?
Yeah, he was arrested with you guys.
No, Skathis went back alone.
He was
Yeah,
arrested.
no.
He was arrested later on and he was with you at the meeting.
You missed it all, didn't you?
So
No,
what's the
I was
point
there,
of
I was
doing the
listening.
recap if you don't bloody listen?
It was in the recap as well.
I'll be back.
So does Adok really want to do that or not? Do you really want to go up there and kick the door in or not?
I'll keep doing it. I'll do what I did. Yep.
Okay.
He does it.
He does it. So Adok storms out of the inn, goes upstairs, and you hear it from upstairs. He kicks the door open, and the door slams against the wall. Do you say anything while you're up there? Like because you're on the balcony, so you're directly above the rest of them.
Nope. That's not it.
That's it? Right. So there's now just the 5 of you downstairs.
Well, I think that
And
went well.
silence.
Anyone want a drink? No?
That didn't. I don't know. I only know really small snippets what went on, but that I learned a lot. Did you learn a lot?
Yes, I did. And I was being sarcastic. I'm going to go order some wine for everyone.
Just before you go anywhere, I don't have any money to pay for it. I don't know how we're paying for booze.
I'll pay for the booze.
He doesn't need to pay for
You guys have nothing. All
Yeah, we got none
of
of our
your
gears.
possessions have been confiscated.
What's his name? Erwin?
Erwin is the bartender, yeah.
Will you take an IOU?
He sighs and says, Isaac has paid for meal and wine for this evening.
I'm so sorry, Erwin. Thank you.
It's okay. And you can see he's not happy at all about having this thing sort of go on at his end, because he's going to lose a night's worth of trade, because pretty much no one else is going to be allowed in the inn this evening. So he turns and walks away, and he comes back with a couple of 3 bottles of wine and puts them on the bar, along with a few cups for you guys.
I'm gonna bring those back to the table and set them down. Start drinking.
I don't want to interrupt. Maybe we should take this up to the room as well. I think we might have a little bit to talk about, and Adok should probably be included.
Grabs the bottles and starts walking up.
So you head out again to the main doors, head outside to go up the stairs. The guards stop you as you come out, ask you what you're doing. You obviously explain to them, we don't need to roleplay, you explain to them that you're heading up to your rooms. They allow you to head up to your rooms. Now, as you head up to your room, you'll find that 2 of the guard follow up and are positioned along the balcony outside of your doors. And as you go up across the balcony, you notice that 2 of them have gone now inside and are downstairs in a position where they can see your doors from the interior. So again, Karnos, you probably specifically would get the impression that they've definitely done something similar to this before. They're very vigilant, and they look like they really know what they're doing. They're fairly well organised in how they're dealing with all this sort of stuff.
Okay. Did everyone come up?
I would assume so, unless someone wants to remain. No, looks like everyone's heading up.
Sweet. So I'll lead into the room that Addox kicked the door in. Well, kicked it open.
What's the main
And,
room you guys are staying in? The only one that's separate in a separate room was Emilia. So whether Emilia goes into her own room or follows with you guys to have the discussion is up to you.
Karnos would sort of usher Emilia into the room and say, I think we all just need to have a minor chat, maybe discuss pros and cons here, and sort of usher everyone into the room and then shut the door.
No worries.
Zadriel, Fibble, Skathis, Addoc, and Emilia, I feel I owe you an apology. And so here it is. I apologise for doing something rash and getting you guys all in trouble. I think I kind of caused that, and that was not my intention. And you have my sincere... Yeah. Once again, I apologise. And he sort of sits on one of the free beds.
What exactly was your intention?
Well, sometimes when I have a couple of drinks, I get these ideas. And the idea I thought was actually really good. But, yeah, maybe in hindsight, I probably should have let you know the idea first. My intention was to learn as much as I could about the guards, what they do, how they work, how they act, and then, sober up overnight and get sent back in the morning. I did not intend for all of you to... I mean, it was awesome, but I did not intend for all of you to try and bust me out. However, I did learn a lot.
Did you want to share, or are you keeping it to yourself for now?
Oh no, I'm happy to share. I just, was ready to be berated by, each and every one of you.
No, although I think I'm waiting to be berated too, so...
Once again, Karnos doesn't really know what went on other than the minor he's heard through talk, so we'll catch up on that. But Karnos says, right, so I know I'm a bit jibbery-jabbery at most of the times, but I'm a little bit more sober at the moment. Okay, so this is kind of what I compiled. Yeah, and some of this is going to be null and void now with what's going on, but one, the guards really don't take crap. They don't even care if it's not a real crime, they will still arrest us. So that's something we know, and we know for real now. No warnings, it's pretty much, minimal warning, pretty much done. But they didn't beat me. They barely touched me. They were actually kind of polite. That's number two. Kind of, they left me alone for the most part. They're always going to take our weapons. That's number three. They left my pack and coins originally, but then, they left them with you guys, and you guys got arrested. Now we've got nothing, so that's cool. Fourth thing I learned was bail was extremely hefty. Extremely. I only really just had enough of a minor amount left over to pay that. The next thing is that they work together as a group. Sorry, I tell a lie. The next thing I learned was that the guards, this is what they... I know what they have on them. Their helmets, their weapons, what they carry, pouches, longswords, spears, shields, anything like that. I've got that. Just, like I say, it all kind of seems worthless now, but there are no friendly exchanges between the guards. They don't seem to chat with each other. They don't really have a friendly disposition, I guess you could say. Feel free to jump in and ask any questions at any time.
Karnos, just roll a quick history check for me, please.
History, you say? It's 11.
Yeah, and you are somewhat correct. You didn't hear any friendly conversation with guards that were on duty. You wouldn't have seen any that were off duty at the time, so you're not sure if when they're off duty if they're friendly with each other. But definitely on duty, they're very regimented.
Yeah. Just noted that when they were walking past other guards, they didn't say, oh, hey guard A, hey guard B. There was none of that sort of exchange, which you get in where we come from. They didn't even care when I mentioned Essex's name. They pretty much told me to sharp and slap me in the face. So I feel like there's some dissension in the ranks. I could be wrong. I learned what size the doors are and where to go to in the jail, which of course you guys all know that now as well. And I did take... They take a lot of notes when you go in there. They take your name, where you come from, and all that kind of jargon. And then I sort of made a mental mind map of the jailhouse. once again, probably a little null and void now. And the other thing I learned, which I only really just learned today, is that you guys are fucking heroic. You put all that shit together, your own lives in peril, to come and get me, who I know I'm not exactly the easiest person to get on with, but I thought you would leave me there. That's why I did what I did. I thought they'll just leave me there, no hassle. So I am impressed. Once again, any questions, let me know. I do have more, but it really doesn't seem pertinent now that we've sort of in the situation we are.
I don't know, because we could still get thrown in jail, and I'm wondering because Lady Vakta gave us would give us 1,000 gold to kill the Baron, and now the Baron probably doesn't like Lady Vakta, so we have a lot of options to choose from.
Yeah, I kind of get the feeling that maybe Lady Vakta and Strahd kind of set us up a bit there. That was a lot tougher than I was expecting as far as the guards, from what you guys say about the guards all hanging together at once and picking a fight with yous.
Yeah, it's definitely worth more than 1,000 gold, I think.
Yeah.
So now I am supposed to either swear an oath or we get thrown in jail again, I think.
Or banished from the city with nothing, basically, in the wild on our own.
So I don't have much choice. Although I do appreciate Adok's offer to be a paladin of metal, so we say.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but Zadriel, I don't know what you are, but I pledge whatever you say and do with you must be some godlike creature. And Karnos gets down on one knee and leans over like as if he's been knighted or something and bows his head to Zadriel.
Zadriel doesn't know how to take this, so she's just gonna be like, thank you.
Once I get a weapon, just tell me what to do and I will do it. Fibble, you didn't tell me you were hanging out with a godlike being.
Really?
Oh, the ravens are out tonight.
Oh, Fibble, that reminds me. We got word that bloody windmill was still up and running too, didn't we?
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah. I mean, no, I told these guys. Did I tell these guys? I told these guys. I think I told these guys. May I have told these guys?
Yes, I think you did.
I feel like because it was me and you who talked to Essek about it, but I couldn't remember because I've been in jail, so I wasn't sure if... Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go burn it down later.
Well, once we get some equipment and some alcohol back, it might be a little easier.
Yes.
Adok is just giving an evil eye to everyone in the room, not saying anything, silent.
What's wrong, Adok?
Oh, what, me? What's wrong? No, nothing. No, I'm great. How are you? Are you good? Are you great? Are we all great? We all chummy? We're all having a good time, having a good laugh, yeah? We're all just great. It's what we wanted, yeah.
Would it be happier if the Baron's house was in ashes right now? We'd like that.
Probably, yeah. Probably, no, you know what I'd like? You know what I'd really like? Is if you, he points to Skaters, and you, and then he points to Karnos, and you, and he points to Zadriel, actually listen to one another and actually talk and actually communicate so that this shit doesn't happen again, alright? You know what, that's a big problem. I said something to you, Skater, you just walk off. You go, I'm not doing it, I'm just going to go off. You go and walk off. And then you, Karnos, what the fuck? You were drunk, mate. And I said, mate, stop, don't do that. You got arrested. Stupid, dickhead. What plan was that? If you had a plan, let us know. Talk about it. Use your bloody noggin, mate. Alright, Jesus. And you, Zadriel, what the fuck are you?
First off, Adok, we got exactly what we wanted. We got the people to get out of the stocks. We could got a bargaining chip between the Baron and Vakta. Don't you want to even your odds? Maybe make it better in your favor?
Are you like a couple of screws loose in the head? Do you honestly think that we've got a bargaining chip here?
Yes.
What? Please explain. Because we got no weapons. we got no money, we got no clothes. I don't have McCann Skittles anymore. Right? Fiddlestick doesn't have Charlotte. And then you have got to make an oath to this bloody bastard who does whatever he wants with children and families and all sorts of different stuff. And now you think that somehow we've got some leverage. Yeah?
Yes. You have to think outside the box. I have to make the oath. You don't have to.
Fibble.
Karnos stands up from his kneeling position, walks over to Adok, and like tries to pick him up for a big hug and says, "It's all right, mate. I apologise."
Do you allow
Just
it,
like
Adok?
lift him off the ground.
I'm gonna squirm and then go to bite his hand.
Yeah, well, how are we going to do this? Make a dexterity saving throw, Carnos, if you want to avoid the bite, or you just allow it.
I'm not trying to crush him. I'm just trying to give him a hug and say, "It's all right, mate. I apologise." So whatever he does, it gets through.
So he'll bite you on the arm. You've got no armor, so you'll take one point of piercing damage as he sinks his little sharp gnashes into your arm.
Ow.
I am not a dog, all right? Don't pick me up. I'm having a very serious talk with you. I'm not a tea bear, all right? You know what? You want to hug something? I'm gonna chuck. I don't even. You know what? I don't even have a bear. I don't have my courage bear anymore, do I?
Oh, you
No, you don't. No, you don't. You guys have absolutely nothing.
I guess I deserve that. You know, I do. Look, and Carlos like kneels right down, so he's sort of at the same level as Adok. He says, "I really do mean it when I say I'm sorry. I really didn't think you guys would nut up. You know, shut up and nut up and actually come and do something." And he looks around the room and he says, "And that proves something to me today. That you guys aren't really piss-weak bastards that I thought you all were to begin with."
Well, that's a little insulting, I think.
Oh, I'm
okay.
taking it back. Like, I thought you guys were the least heroic team I ever put together. But now I realise you're just as heroic as I am to a point. You got yourselves all captured and put in jail. Even you, Adok. Even you could have run away at any moment, but you did not.
I tried. Believe me, I did.
I know.
The,
Shot a can.
the difference between us and you, Carnos, is we actually were thinking about what we're going to do until some moron forced our hand.
All right, who was that then?
You monkey.
No, I said. Half the chat want one though. Did you bring milk home?
Yeah.
We're supposed to have a lovely get together with the Baron's enemy. If you have to swear an oath to the Baron before, oh wait, we're about to get suspended from the place, aren't we? Well, banned, but what is it? What they got? Exiled? Is that the word we're looking for? I guess we could just turn tail and run.
Exiled without any shit anyway, so we fucking might as well just say we're getting killed. Because we got nothing.
We don't know what he will make me do.
Well, he can't make you do anything. He can only ask you to do it.
Thing is, I feel like we have the upper hand now. I mean, in an underhanded kind of way. Whatever he asks us to do, I don't see as a bad thing because he runs the show at the moment. If we still want to usurp him in some respect or another, and I use that lightly, we need to get close to him. Know thy enemy better than, keep your enemies close, and you know.
Yeah, keep your friends closer, but keep your enemies closer.
That's the yeah.
And carry a big stick.
Also, we can get inside like Lady Vakta wanted if we are in service. Well, if I am in service to the Baron. Unless.
It comes down to we know he wants to get rid of Strahd, and he's going to want to get rid of any Strahd's good mates. The dinner with Strahd is just a way to find out how to get rid of Strahd. It's just a reconnaissance mission. Karnos should be really, really fucking good at that. But outside of that, that's all we really need to do. Because I think once Strahd is gone, we can get the hell home and goodbye this shithole.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are starting to make some sense. We've got a few quiet ones here, though. Like, Amelia, what do you think?
Is there any way that you can make a false oath, Sadriel?
How so? I have a paladin's oath I use, and I don't think it will be. My first oath is to my god. I cannot break any oath to him. It doesn't really matter too much about anyone else except him.
Could you pretend to do an oath with the Baron and just make it look like it's an official oath? I don't know how the system works.
What, like a pinky promise?
Oh, if that's what you want to call it.
Possibly. Skatis, what do you think?
So, for starters, I'm going to stand up, walk over to Karnos, and left hook in the face.
Roll to hit.
And you're muted, DM.
Roll to hit.
This should be fun.
Karnos is lower.
Carlos
AC.
is not going to move anyway, but it'll be AC of 8, I think. No, even with that armor, it's 14.
17 then.
Definitely hit. What is your unarmored damage? Your unarmed strike.
Unarmed strike. Hang on.
I think it's a D6 plus your strength.
Yeah, D6 plus 3.
So roll that for me.
So I'll pull back on that and do half damage if I'm able to.
Yeah. So just do the plus 3. So we'll make it just the 3 damage. So three bludgeoning damage, Karnos. As Skathis hooks you as he walks up and just left hook right on the jaw.
Karnas looks back at him. I'd like to think he's drawn a bit of blood from the side of the lip.
Yep.
And Karnas...
Karnos, you know he's pulled his punch, but that punch is solid.
I ball my fists up hard, and Karnos says, I think I had that coming. I feel like I did. And once again, I'll say it, I apologise if I cause any trouble. But I do want to say one thing, Skathis. Where were you in all this?
Jump in, Adam.
Yeah, as he hooked, I would like to walk up and kick Skathis in the shin as well.
Okay. Skathis, you'd be unoccupied. You'd be occupied what you're doing, so we'll definitely say that you'll take 1 point of bludgeoning damage as you get clocked in the shin by a little goblin foot.
I'm going to tag on to what Karnos was saying about, yeah, and that's what you had it coming as well, because exactly what Karnos said. Where the fuck were you? You ran off. I'm going to try and kick him again.
Okay.
This time you can roll to hit, because he'll be aware. So this roll to hit with your strength modifier. So
yeah, I got a 15.
15. What is your AC without your armor? So yeah, you definitely hit.
And I've got armor anyway. I got myself.
Right, so you're natural armor. So yeah, did he hit with a 15?
Yeah.
Okay, so this roll unarmed strike.
0. I do 0 damage.
That's right, your strength is nothing. So he hits you, but does no damage on this one.
So I look down at Adok.
You feel it, but it doesn't hurt.
I'll do a side kick.
Oh,
Just
wow.
Straight out smack.
That'd be a face shot too. Roll to hit.
Nat 1.
You just misjudge how tall Adok is.
How short?
Yeah. Well, tall, short, whatever. Tomato. And you just over his head. Miss him by like an inch.
So, can I react to that and go for an uppercut straight to the gonads?
Yeah, I'll allow it. You got 0 strength. You're not going to hurt him.
It's gonna be more of a tickle.
I got a 6.
Yeah, no, you're too short.
Zadriel is going to put a hand on Kaunos, healing hands for 5 points. Just pat Skatus for nothing and pick up Adok and give him a hug and be like, "Stop it, calm down," and put him down.
Thank you, Zadriel. I really don't think I deserve that, but I appreciate it.
I'm just sitting in the background going, where the hell's the pup gone?
We are not going to get any money, any heroics, or anything else if we fight each other and not these people. And we're not going to get home. So get it out now, but then we have to decide.
Yeah, I think we almost need to make a pact where we say from now on, and I'll put my hand up. I'm probably the worst culprit, but from now on, we work as a team. We work together. We've been getting better, right? I feel like we have, but I think I agree with Adok, which is really fucking unusual and scary. We do have to come together, and Fibble's right too. We do have to put all the bullshit aside. So, once again, I can't help but apologise any further than what I have, but definitely, I think we have a pretty effective team if we can just unify and not be assholes to each other.
Emily is going to say, "Not interested," stand up and leave the room.
Okay.
With that, I turn to Zadriel. Do the oath, as you said.
What?
We don't have to take it.
Okay.
And we're gonna. Why doesn't Emilia want to go home? Because that's pretty much what she just said, wasn't it? She just said she's not interested in this whole thing and left. So she doesn't want to go home? Is she really Strahd?
Should we all talk to her, or should one of us talk to her?
You go talk to her.
Maybe one of our best talkers is probably Skathis. Maybe he should talk to her.
Yeah, Skathis no. Zadriel should go talk to her.
I always just seem to upset her. I don't mean to, but we don't see exactly eye to eye like we did in day one.
Maybe you should make up with her.
Did I try? I feel like I might have tried. Maybe that was a drunken dream.
Yeah, got the feeling maybe it was.
You guys tell me what to do. Point me at a target and give me instruction. I'll do whatever you say.
After her, find out why she doesn't want to go home.
I can go with you if you want.
You know what? If she don't want to be a part of this team, screw it. She don't have to be a part of this team. She doesn't do bloody anything anyway. All she does is fiddle with some water and does some fountain works.
Hey,
doesn't really matter.
that big fight, she actually did kind of help us by not fighting. But she fought, but didn't do any damage, which is a lot harder than it seems.
She
Yeah.
controlled the battle. She controlled the battle. Yeah.
She has mighty power, mighty power from what I have seen, and uses it almost like it's planned to be ineffective.
Oh, no, it was quite effective. It's
Well,
just,
Yeah, you know what I mean though. Not ineffective at all, but just
doesn't. She's a pacifist. She doesn't want to hurt anything.
yeah.
Like, I can understand that.
Maybe
I don't.
Yeah.
Well, I don't agree with it, but I understand it.
Doctor, where do you lie? Where are your loyalties? Are you with us?
My loyalties are to what's going to keep me alive. If that's you guys, then that's you guys. If that's not you guys, that's not you guys. At the moment, it's not looking very good for you lot. But I have to say,
You're alive and you're with us, so
Give him gold. Give him gold. He'll be done.
oh, don't try and sweet talk. How much gold are we talking here?
A lot.
yeah, I think it's gonna be quite a bit adult.
Yeah, all right.
Maybe okay, Zadriel, if we're gonna go and have a talk to Emilia, maybe we should do it now before she gets too far. Oh, she can't really because there's guards, but nonetheless, let's catch her, eh?
Go and go out to. I assume she went to her room. Yeah.
Yeah, we check there first, maybe.
I'm going to knock on your door.
No answer.
I'm going to kick down your door.
Emily is inside.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, g'day.
What's wrong, Emilia? Talk to me.
What happened last night was stupid. No offense, but to be frank, I didn't feel the need to break someone out of prison when they're just in there for being drunk. And sorry.
No, you go.
As much as I would like to see you guys killing each other in next door, it's just not for me.
I needed Carnos to break the people out of the stocks. I'm not leaving them in there anymore, and I do not trust that he will let them out the next day.
And I apologise, Emilia. I really was just going to get intel the best way I knew how. So I didn't mean to put the group in danger. It's my fault that everyone made a rash decision, and I apologise. We are trying to come together as a team, and I actually feel like we need your skill.
I will do what Zadriel wants to do, but yeah.
Do you want to go home? Don't you want to go home?
I had nowhere to go to. Going home is not a problem.
You don't have a home back there.
I do, but it's not a place I want to go to.
If it's something I've learned, Emilia, is in my time of all these heroics, all these things that I've been doing throughout my adult career, the longer you travel with someone, the more like family they become. And if you have nowhere to go now, in a month's time, or a week's time, or 2 months' time, whatever time it takes, I think you'll feel more at home alongside the group of us, maybe. So what I'm saying is, shall we start over? And he extends his arm in like a warrior's handshake type gesture.
Yeah. Perhaps.
I tell you what, if we get out of here, I need a roommate at my house in Vandalin. The town is full of amazingly handsome men. You can stay with me. If you can put up with Fible's visits. So there, you have a home now.
You, Zadriel, have shown me friendship from the beginning. You and Mirabelle showed me friendship from the beginning. And I will follow you. I haven't felt a connection with the rest of the party as of yet. But I will follow you.
Thank you.
Karnos' hand is still hanging in the air, I believe. He's just sort of pulls it away slowly. All right, well, that's a start.
All right, well, I guess I will go back to my wine if you want to come, Emilia. And I have an oath to make up for tomorrow.
That sounds like a plan. I could do with a drink or two.
Zadriel, can I have a word with you in private?
Okay.
I'll get the message, and Karnos walks out.
Save me a glass.
I will.
What is it?
Your oath says that you won't harm innocent people, correct?
My oath does not say that. It says I will show people the light in the darkness. But if people serve evil, I am going to end them. If I choose to. I don't have to.
So you won't get in trouble with your oath for hurting an innocent?
It's a bit grey.
Please, if you were to hurt an innocent, would you get struck down immediately, or your oath be deemed to be broken?
No. Is that what happens to you?
Well, no, I was just asking because you sort of squished that guy back at the jail.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was deemed to be evil or good or...
All of us have to make a choice in life, and he had a choice to walk away or serve the Baron, and he made his choice. So...
Okay.
I'm not a paladin of devotion. That is another thing entirely. So
I'm just not sure how it works. I'm just sort of wondering if it's...
they're more of a nature spirit. It's all about the sunlight and things like that.
Well, I was just thinking that if he was evil, then you'd be fine, and if he wasn't evil, then you would have broken your vow and you'll suddenly be an oath breaker. Being the fact that I don't know stuff all about paladins, and neither does Strahd, I was just sort of wondering.
I am still here, so there's an answer.
And if you break your oath, do you disappear?
No. I think my wings might... Well, I don't have paladin wings per se yet, but I think they would change, and I would have different powers, maybe.
So you'd sort of become like a Death Knight or something?
Yeah, probably squish more people with my armor than usual. That's a good sign that that's going downhill for me, and, But we'll take it as it comes.
Okay. I was just wondering, because I don't know about paladins. And I don't know about anyone, really. I know about me, and I know about my family, and I know about my surrogate family, and I know about that, but I don't know about everyone else.
It's good to ask questions, though. So We'll be fine, and maybe I will write down my tenants and you can read them one time.
Okay.
All right, I've better get back before they start kicking each other to death again. So I'm going to leave.
During that time, with Emily and Zadriel in the other room, the rest of you, is there anything you wish to discuss while Zadriel's out of the room?
I would have just sat on the bed to meditate.
What is your problem? You leathery looking, red faced, bloody thing. Why don't you talk? What is it? Go on, spit it out. Come on. I can take it. You want to punch me? Come on, come on.
Sit there quietly meditating.
What about if I just pull on your tail? You gotta talk then? Huh?
Still meditate.
I'll do it. You think I'm scared? You think I'm... Alright. I'm gonna go to pull on his tail.
Are you still sitting there meditating?
Yep.
You pull on his tail, get no reaction.
People, he's like broke, he's like mental. We're working with a mental case. I mean, we've got mental cases, but he's a proper mental case.
No, he just meditates really fucking well.
He can't meditate that well, slap him. Not me, you.
His head's all the way up there. I don't want to get up there.
I'll give you a boost.
I'll put you on my shoulders.
I'm sitting. I'm sitting.
Yeah, but you're on a bed and they're on the floor, so
Yeah.
There is a bit of a height difference there. Well played, guys. Well played. Your eyes will be closed, I'm assuming, if you're meditating.
Yeah, but I can hear what they're saying.
You can hear what they're saying, yes.
Well, come here, give me a boost. I have got to get this bloke to bloody start talking.
So,
Okay.
I need you to make a strength check, Fibble, and a dex check from Adok, please. To see how well you can balance on the boost and whether actually Fibble can actually lift you or not.
That would be a 12.
It's a little shaky, but you managed to get him up. Your dex check, please.
18.
You got good balance. Fibble, he's a little heavier than you would expected, but you managed to get him up to roughly Scathus's head height. Adok, you are now pretty much face to face with Scathus. His eyes are closed, his legs are crossed, sitting on his bed, and he's just hands in his lap, and he's just breathing normally.
Probably looking face to face with Scathus. I'm gonna start second guessing myself at this point, but I've gone too far, so I'm gonna take a big breath back. I'm gonna say, "All right, you red bastard. I'm gonna keep slapping you till you start talking," and I'm just gonna like slap him and continue until he. Yeah.
With that, can I?
Every slap he hits you with, it doesn't hurt because he's got 0 strength. So.
Yeah. Can I do a reaction?
Yeah.
Yeah, just stop the hand mid-flight.
With your eyes closed, you would have to make a dex check at disadvantage. Even though you're a monk and you can do cool monk shit, you'd still have to make the check with a disadvantage.
Disadvantage? So
Yes.
just...
So roll 2d20s, take the lowest, add your dex modifier.
15.
Yeah, you're able to... Adok, as you go to raise your hand and slap him that first slap, just out of nowhere, his arm comes up and catches you by the wrist. Lightning quick.
Would Karnos walk back in the room around about this time?
Probably about the time of the slap, yeah, I would imagine so. There wasn't a huge gap in time frame.
I'll be like, click. What's going on there? And close the door.
It's at this point that I would like to try and dive off Fibble's shoulders to try and choke him with my other spare hand.
Okay. You do so. You are held by one hand. He's got one of your arms by the wrist. You dive on top of him, which would probably top you back slightly. Not too much weight. You would probably rock back slightly on because you're in a sitting cross-legged position. You can react to that as well. He is going to get one hand around your throat. I wouldn't imagine be able to do too much damage with his little hands. He's got claws, however, so I would say probably 1 point of piercing damage as he digs his claws into your neck.
Carl sits on the bed and says to Fibble, "My money's on the Skathers because I felt his punch and he's nearly as strong as I am. Lucky."
I don't think this is a fight. This is more of a ad hoc trying to assert dominance over Skathers.
Oh, that's interesting.
If you see ad hoc, pull out little ad hoc, run.
So how heavy is Adok?
What is your weight, Adok? He's not very heavy.
I'm like 12, 15 kilo, if that.
Yes, he's not very heavy at all.
Where's the closest wall? I suppose to be behind me.
Probably to your right. Where the beds are situated, it would be to your immediate right.
So I suppose it'd be a strength check to throw him in that direction, wouldn't it?
It would be, definitely.
All right.
The whole point this is going on, Adok's just like with his one hand being held and the other hand on his throat, trying to do whatever he can. He's like, "Why won't you talk, you bloody bastard? Just say something."
So it was a dismal. Hang on. I'll use it. I'm using luck.
You're gonna use it for
Roll a
RP.
9.
You rolled a 9.
Oh fuck!
What did you roll?
Two.
You have to take the new roll, unfortunately, as well. So, what's your strength modifier?
0.
So, a 2 strength. You struggle. For some reason, you just can't push him off and throw him against the wall. He sort of rocks to one side with you, Adok, and he's still got hold of your wrist, however, though, but he manages to move your hand from his neck, but you sort of rolled over sideways on the bed. So, you guys that are watching, this looks very interesting from your position. It really doesn't look like a fight. It's kind of strange by this point.
Trying to mate with each other?
That was going to be my next question, actually, Fibble. Is this how goblins mate? I don't know. Do you know?
And at this point, Zadriel would return to the room.
All right, what the hell is going on?
Adok and Skathers are trying to mate.
Goblin devil babies?
At this point, I'd like to try and get Adok's legs around Skathers' neck as of at the back of his neck, as I'm holding onto him with one hand.
Yeah. So you want to try and lock him into a leg guillotine around the neck?
Yeah.
Roll a strength check for me.
Does that mean they would make a goblin?
Actually, no. Roll acrobatics.
A goblin?
Yeah, devil and a goblin.
For 12.
The
He's not
12.
a devil, is he?
You managed to get into a position where you can lock your ankles around his neck. You'll need to make a strength check to see what pressure you put on his neck. Dexterity saving throw from you, Skathers, please.
So on the strength, I got a 2 minus 1, so 1.
Again, you just can't seem. You've got it locked in, but you just can't seem to put any pressure on it whatsoever. His neck's just a lot thicker than you expected.
You muted. Trash.
So with the dex saving throw, I got a 19.
Yeah, you were able to turn to your right. You had to release his other hand, but you were able to turn to your right, bring one arm under his legs, and just push it up, and you lost your grip.
Okay, with doing that, I'd like to do an unarmed strike towards him as I've done it.
Yep. No problem. Roll to hit.
While they're doing this, Karnos would look at Zadriel and say, "Do you want me to step in?"
18 to hit.
That hits.
What did Skathers say to piss him off?
So you're going to pull your punch this time?
Nah, 7 damage.
7 bludgeoning damage as you take a palm strike to your chin. as he
don't know, I
reaches
walked
up
in on it.
in between, like pushes your leg out the way and then just full on palm strike right under your chin.
Adok wants Skathis to talk. That's how it all started.
And I would
Is
say that you would probably topple off the bed as well at this point, so you'll probably take another point of bludgeoning damage as you hit the floor.
Gathus distracted, would you say? Like maybe a little like not advantageous position?
Yeah, he's definitely occupied with what's going on.
I cast command chatter with some saving throw.
At disadvantage because you are not focused on what's going on around you. You're too busy concentrating on what's happening with Adok.
If I may, as Adok tumbles backwards, hits the floor, I'm going to groggily get up and I'm going to death stare Skathis. And then all of a sudden his hands are going to start to glow red as you all know, you've seen like symbols start to go. Like he's pissed and then you just hear him start chanting going, "Ik, Ni." Like it just starts to glow more and more. And I'm just going to hear him go, "You will talk or I'm going to fry you."
And then I'm casting command.
So, with all that happening...
What was your wisdom save?
So with that happening, I'm going to do Fist of Unbroken Air while saying I refuse to talk to idiots that like to pick fights they can't win.
You need to make your wisdom save first, however.
I failed, that's why I talked.
Okay. So he's now become very chatty. And your Fist of Unbroken Air?
He needs to make a DC save of 11.
What, dexterity save? Strength
Sorry.
save. Strength save of with DC of 11.
Oh, I got a 12.
So what would what would normally happen?
Well, instead of taking 3d10 bludgeoning damage, he takes half that.
Okay. This is going to hurt a lot.
Reaction.
So those watching this, yes, you, Karnos, Fibble, even Zadriel, you would be able to have a reaction to what's going on. As Fibble's sitting here, he's all glowy and lit up. He's made the threat. Skathis has opened his mouth and said a whole entire sentence, which is probably more than he said in frickin' ages, and has just thrust out towards Adok.
So I rolled a 21, so have that.
It's a 10.
Karnos wants to take the hit. Karnos wants to dive. Seeing how much... Yeah.
Acrobatics. Karnos, acrobatics, please.
Acrobatics.
To dive into the path of the blow.
Acrobatics. 12.
Yep, you would definitely get in front of that, and you would take the blow to the chest, taking 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Sweet.
And then probably is there a knockback with that, Crash?
Yeah. Where would it go?
It's like 10
you
feet
can
or something?
push the creature up to 20 feet away from you.
So I would say you'd get...
And knock it prone.
Yeah, I'd say you'd get... because you were diving, you'd already be
Yeah.
in that sort of disadvantaged position anyway, so you'll definitely take the hit, and you'll get knocked back probably into Adok. So you'll knock Adok over, so you'll both be prone. Adok, you're not going to take any more damage, but Karnos throws himself in between you and Skathis as you see this fist just come rocketing out towards you. It hits you, Karnos, spear in the chest, and sends you reeling back into Adok, and you both are knocked prone about 10 feet away.
As Karnos is falling, he says, "Zedriel, say something!" And I hit the deck.
And once that happens, I cast Healing Word on Karnos and
Yep, okay.
that for 11 points of heal.
So they both get one?
Yeah, both get one.
So you both
go
get a
and
heal for
stand
11
in front
points.
of them and just
Hands on
face
hips?
Skathis with my hands on my hips, like, okay. So.
And seeing I'm still got that chatty
Yes,
can,
you are.
I'm going to sit down and meditate now. Thank you very much.
No, you don't want to tell a story or anything? I mean, I don't know anything about you. Yeah.
Well, we know that he can fight.
Yeah. If they ask you a question, you're compelled to answer because of the command. You don't have to tell the truth. You're not under a truth spell, but you do feel compelled to speak.
I'm a tiefling monk. I fight things. That's what I do.
So why don't you speak normally then?
I don't like speaking. It causes trouble.
Well, it seems to me that not speaking causes more trouble. Huh?
In my travels...
Oh, believe me, Drax, I'm making rolls for that.
You are saying?
In my travels, I have learned that if I say the wrong things, it gets me into trouble. So therefore, I have decided not to speak.
But you could decide to
You
speak to
hear
us.
on the door of your room, which was closed. I heard someone say they closed it as they came in. You hear that hard. It's not a knock, it's a fist pounding on the door. Hey, what's going on in there? What's all the racket?
Misunderstanding.
Discussion.
With that, I yell out, "None of your damn business, we're talking!"
I like this side of you.
You muted,
You're muted.
Karnos.
Sorry, I said it's yelled out. It's just a rather heated discussion. No worries.
Someone, either Karnos or Skatus, roll a persuasion check at advantage, please.
Yeah, I don't mind rolling that if you guys are happy. Not my best rolling, but
I got an 18.
oh, you can take it. That's good.
So with that, you hear, all right then, keep it down though. We're watching you. Well, listening. You know what we're doing. Just behave yourself.
Thank you.
Emily is going to hear the thumping on the door and stick her head out her door.
Yeah.
And then after seeing that, she's going to leave and go down to the
Back down to
well
the inn.
outside.
You won't be allowed to go outside. The guards will stop you.
Yeah, well, I can go down to the downstairs though, can't I?
You can go to the downstairs, but you can't go out to the well. They won't allow you to go to the well.
I can go downstairs then.
So they'll allow you back into the main bar, which at this point it's still daytime, but it's starting to get late. So eventually they will insist that you remain in your room, but for the time being, you've been allowed to go downstairs.
I'm basically going to sit down there, and if Essek comes in, I'm going to try and talk to him.
Okay. And he will do at some point. We'll jump back to you in just a moment.
Sweet.
So the five of you, you've now had the guard sort of tell you to keep it down and behave yourselves. What is happening?
Adolf's going to pick himself up, brush the dust off, kind of realign his jaw a little bit and crack it. He's going to walk over to a wine bottle, pop the cork. He's going to take a swig from it, walk over to Skathis with a big grin on his face and go, "I got you to speak, didn't I? I win." And put the bottle to him.
Do you take the bottle?
Yep, snatch it out of his hand. Take a big swig. And hand it back.
You know what? You know what? You're not that bad of a fella, you are. Should talk more often. Just with us, though. I don't care about if you don't talk about anyone else. Just with us. Then this whole shebang doesn't have to happen again. Anyone else want a drink?
Carlos is struggling to get up off the floor. He's had no drinks for a while and his hips are...
Yeah.
tight.
I walk over to Karnos and offer my hand.
Thank you, Skathis. Sorry we broke your vow of silence.
It wasn't a vow of silence. Was it?
Yes, it was.
Ah.
But now you got me talk. I won't shut up, maybe. I don't know.
No, I like it. Also, now that you all are done, perhaps maybe the rest of you could be a little bit nicer to Emilia. Yeah?
Yeah, she's a bit down and sort of thinks you guys, don't particularly love her, including me.
I haven't been anything but a gentleman.
That's probably true. You're always really nice, Mr. Stibb. Except for when you call me a dickhead.
You were a dickhead.
Yeah, I didn't say I was wrong. I just said it wasn't nice.
Oh, sorry.
That's
That's my vow of absolute honesty.
Yeah. What Zadriel and me were saying is when we spoke to Emilia, she wasn't very happy about the way we sort of treat each other, let alone her, right? Give me that wine.
But the thing is, we're still trying to work out each other. Like, I know Z really well, but all you other people I don't know. So it's that type of thing that we're gonna have to work out.
Well, maybe we need to sit down, everyone together, and just play a game of spin the bottle, right?
No.
I don't schedule look like they've already played.
I think what we just need to do is just talk to each other instead of trying to hide shit. And that's especially, Emilia's thing. She needs to talk to us and not hide shit.
Eric's gonna get up, crack his knuckles, and go, "Oh, that's all right. I can always have a word to Emilia. I've got a way with words."
Oh, God, no.
You are not a cunning linguist.
But good job, though. Good job.
Alex, stick to your tinkering.
Are you sure? Because I'll be a lot more gentle.
Yeah, I'm sure. Tinker, just tinker, no talk.
Work on
All right.
Skittles.
Take the swig.
So at this point, we will switch over back to Emilia. As you're sitting down in the inn, Essek eventually does come in. He sees you sitting at the table and he nods to you as he walks in, and he goes and takes a seat at the sort of the bar area. Erwin's not anywhere around. He seems to have disappeared, but he just comes and sits down and basically sits by himself. He's acknowledged that you're there, but he hasn't spoken to you.
Emily is going to get up and walk over and sit next to him and basically say, "May I sit? I just wish to ask you something."
Of course.
I have heard stories of a man named Essek from Valaki who is a very strong fire elemental sort of person. Is this you? I mean, obviously it is, but I'm just wondering if the stories are true.
Well, that would depend on what you have heard.
I have heard that this person can turn a person to ash just by looking at them, among other things.
He sort of chuckles and says, "Well, exaggeration, of course. I have the ability to control a little bit of fire and shoot it from my hand, but that is about it. I am most handy with my axe."
I see. So, may I ask this? Is there a Mrs. Essex?
I have no time for such things. I shall, how we say, I am married to my work.
So you're not in the market, as you would say?
I am flattered, but no. I am too busy to settle down and have family.
You're not a eunuch, are you?
No. of course not. Again, I am flattered, but I fear that if you are offering, then you are far too young for me. You are but a child. I am an old man.
Yeah. Emily is sort of going to give him an angry glance and say, I came on this trip hoping to meet a nice man, and everyone just says, you're too young for me. And it's just, I mean, I know I'm young, but I'm getting there. I'm getting older.
Don't misunderstand what I say. You are very beautiful. More beautiful than most women here in Valaki. And you do stand out. But, as I say, for me, my life is Valaki and the Valakian god. And I am, how you say, many moons old. I cannot have children, and as part of this, and at this point he pulls open his cloak, and you see now the deformity in his arm is quite severe. His left arm is a lot larger in the bicep than his right, and you can see the burn scars that pretty much from elbow to fingertip. It's horribly scarred, almost to the point of open wounds, where he sort of says, and this most people are afraid of.
Emily sort of looks but seems to look more at his face than at it, and she's gonna say, I don't want to get you wrong here. I'm not trying to get myself out of trouble, but the most action I've seen on this trip is laying next to Adok, just trying to scare him. And
he gives you a smile. He gets the humor in that, and he says, I do not believe that you and your friends are looking for trouble, and neither does Baron Vargas. He is a harsh man. He is very scared. Strahd is all-powerful, and he worries for his town and his people. This has led him to make rash and unwise decisions. But he is a good man. You will see.
I see. I have not known my party for long, but they seem to have a way of finding the trouble, even if it's amongst each other.
Yes, I believe that those who do not know each other very well can sometimes come to blow. But in time, they can learn to trust each other.
When I say them, I mean myself as well. I am very angry with people who upset me, you could say. I hold a grudge.
Be careful on what grudges you hold. They will remain inside and they will hurt you in the end. But if you follow your heart and do what you think is right, then you should be okay. But as I say, I must continue my patrols and make sure the guard are doing what they are supposed to. I hope you and your friends come to the right decision tomorrow, for everybody's sake. If you were to be banished, then I believe that Valaki will be vulnerable to Strahd and his minions. The Baron does what he can, but I do not think that is enough to keep Strahd at bay.
The banishment is not something that is different for me and them. I do not fear the banishment. It will not have any effect on me if I am banished. But the group that I am with, I think that they need me as much as I need them, even if I'm judging them harshly right now.
As you say, friends, if things work out correctly, can become family. Family is not always about blood.
And Emily is going to stand and she's going to sort of curtsy and say, "Thank you, I appreciate this chat."
Of course, and he will stand as you stand and bow actually quite deeply to you. And again, you get the impression that Isaac is. He definitely is an older, like you can see it in his face. He's an older man. He's probably in his late 40s. He is like, he's very tall, 6'6" tall. He's extremely tall, very very wide chested and shouldered. But you get the impression that he's actually, even though he's the head of the guard, and he's got this bad rep as being this bad dude and who can melt people with his arm kind of thing. He comes across as being actually quite gentle and quite wise and well spoken. And you can tell that he is all about Valaki and its people. And from the conversation, you get the impression that his view of the Baron is that the Baron is a good man, regardless of some of his more unwise actions. Some of the things he's done can be deemed as kind of stupid and harsh, but he still believes that he's a good man overall.
Emily is going to return upstairs, and she's going to go into the room with everyone else.
Okay. So at that point, you return to the room with everybody else, and we're going to take a 5-minute break because it's about that time. So we can acknowledge our raiders. Raid, what's up? Twitchy Slays D&D dropping in with the raid. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome to my channel. My name is Evildoer. I am from New Zealand, as is some of my cast. And most of these people I know IRL or have known for some time. A mix of Kiwis and Aussies. An American there in the corner, but she's technically an Aussie. She lives there. So we are doing Curse of Strahd, obviously. We're about 18 episodes in. We're still fairly early in the story. We're taking a no-rush approach to our RP and just seeing where the story goes. And tonight she is French. Oh ho ho. Mon chéri. Alrighty, so we're going to take 5 minutes, guys. We will be right back. Don't forget to smash that follow button.
Sorry, PM, but she does it better than you.
I wasn't trying, Trash.
You're gonna get me killed, son.
No, you're going to get himself killed. But if you haven't followed, hit the follow button. Appreciate the support. Obviously, if you can sub, hit the sub button, all that wonderful stuff. Check out the socials, !social, give you my Twitter and my Instagram. !Discord will give you the Discord. !YT will give you the YouTube, where you can catch up on all previous VODs. But we'll be right back. All right, I'm back. What's up? Nobody's making a coffee, so there'll be a bit of noise in the background, but that is not a problem. We won't get into the show until she's done. But good to see you guys hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate it very much. Miss Piper Halliwell with 100 biddies. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And welcome to the Raiders coming in as well. Magic, what's up?
Mr. DM, could you switch on the slap command for about
Nope.
5? No, oh, come on, just once.
Nope.
Just one. Sorry, Piper.
you know it's not going to happen in D&D. That's a gaming only command, and it will depend on when I'm gaming, which I don't do very much anymore. Well, I game, just not on stream. But yeah, so Raiders, thank you very much for hanging out with us tonight. I appreciate you, Twitch Slays D&D. I appreciate dropping your community over on little old me and my friends. All these nerds up in here playing some Dungeons and Dragons. We do a homebrew campaign every Sunday night as well, New Zealand time. We are getting towards the end of that campaign, however, but we will be carrying on. We're going to do we were going to do a one-shot, which turned into a multi-shot because we want to get a bit more content into it. So it's probably going to be up to 5 sessions, maybe. Got to support the nerds. Too right, Becca. Welcome, welcome. And then after the multi-shot is complete, we're going to be doing a Vampire the Masquerade campaign. I will be playing in this campaign, and that dude over there, stuff in his face, will be DMing for us on that one. And Zadriel, aka Yanti1, she'll be doing DMing the multi-shot for us. So we've got a multi-talented group here of DMs and players. So we're going to utilize as many of them as possible, so I don't have to do all the work, which is great. We are going to look at a second homebrew campaign at some point. I don't know when that'll be. Obviously after the VTM. I don't know how long the VTM is going to go for. We haven't really discussed too much of that story as a whole at this point. We've sort of just been waiting to get at least to the end of the homebrew campaign, and then once that's done, during the multi-shot, we'll probably sit down and discuss more about that, start getting character sheets organized and characters and stuff. I will be looking for potential guest players as well. I have spoken to Magic the Gamer, who has played VTM before and has a character, about coming in and maybe doing a session or two with us at some point during the story. Obviously we'll have to try and tie his character into the story, so we'll have to obviously get together with our storyteller to see if we can work that character in somewhere, which we'll do in due course, obviously. So if you want to possibly be involved in the Vampire the Masquerade as a potential guest character, join the Discord, send me a DM and let me know of what clan your character is likely to be, and a rough outline of your character's name and all that sort of stuff. Human 100%? Yeah, well, obviously, duh. Or vampire. I mean, doesn't matter. They could be a human character or a vampire character. Guest characters without an arc are pointless? No, they're not. Shows how much you know about D&D and about role-playing. We can get guest characters without a story arc as long as people are interested. We can add arcs later. We just need to get an expression of interest. So we will be looking at that at some point. My next homebrew campaign, I will be calling for players for that, and obviously when we get close to that as well. Most of these regular players will more than likely be involved, again depending on availability, work schedules and all the rest of that, but we'll be looking at a maximum of 6 players for that campaign, I would imagine. So maybe 7, we could probably stretch it out to, we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get a little bit closer to it. But if everyone is back, and organised. We've got people stuff in their faces all left, right, and centre. We will wait till you to finish your. What are you eating, Sadiq? Looks like cereal.
Pie.
What now?
Apple pie.
Oh, damn it!
Homemade apple pie.
Really, really, really good apple pie. It's
I
like
love
3
homemade
pieces
apple pie.
jammed into a bowl. So we've run out of plates.
Why not? Got to jam it into a bowl. So, with that, we shall return to our story as Emilia now returns to the room where her friends are still drinking and discussing certain things after her conversation with Essek. And we'll start with her walking into the room.
Yeah, as Emily enters the room, Carlos is regaling. He's like, so I believe that family is blood. The blood you spill together, and the blood you lose together. Yeah, what you reckon?
That's a lot of blood loss.
I mean, we've all lost blood for each other recently. I think it's a good way to start.
That is true.
You know, we could do like a blood pact to bring everyone together. We just gotta find something to cut all our hands or arteries or whatever you want and stick them together.
We might have to do that when we get our weapons back, but just one question. I don't want to turn into like a half goblin, demon, god, dwarf hybrid.
He's
Wolf.
already bitten you, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, I think he's many times. I don't know.
He could bite all of us. There we go.
Have you got like a cure disease or something, Zadriel, maybe? We can utilize after the blood?
That's a bit goblinist.
No,
Can't
just being funny, mate. It's all good. I'm just having you on.
I have a feeling that lycanthropy or vampirism would be the least concerning disease that you'd have to worry about with you.
I don't get it.
I'm saying you've got a lot of diseases, you know, that humans can get when you're filthy, basically. I'll try to say you're filthy.
Oh, right.
Take a bath. You need a shower.
I actually like to clean up quite a bit. I thought you were getting at like sexual things, but you know, as we all know.
What?
Yes, unfortunately, we all know.
What do we know?
That I have a broken set of bones. One set of actual bones and the other not so much.
I thought is that you didn't have like a penis. I thought that's what it was.
Well, I was trying to say it
Yeah.
without.
That and he's shooting blanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
These guys,
Welcome back, Emilia.
Emilia, hello.
and these guys wonder why I don't talk. I mean, come on, look at this.
How long does
Well,
command last for? It's only like a minute, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, but it's his choice if he wants to.
Yeah. But you, by this stage, you would no longer feel compelled to speak. But if you want to, that's up to you.
Emily is going to cover her face. She's obviously giggling.
So who is drinking, by the way? We only had probably maybe three or four bottles of wine. So I'd say probably by this stage gone through maybe a couple of bottles. So everyone be feeling a little glowy, shall we say? Not drunk, but getting a little tipsy.
Carlos is just taking the pain away.
Yeah.
With Emilia having walked back into the room, is going to slowly get up, somewhat stumble a little bit towards Emilia, both hands stretched out in front of him. He's going to look at her and go, right, so...
Don't, he bites.
What was that? Gaithus, what'd you say?
Shut up, Skitters. He's trying to give her a hug. Let it happen.
Okay.
No, I've got a point. Yeah, little Berry, a big elephant, a bird elephant, said that you may not feel welcomed in this group. So, I would like to be the first one to say, even though you tried to eat me as a wolf, and you have then done weird, creepy shit with like water, and don't attack nobody in fights. Apparently, you protect people, just not me. Even though all that aside, I just want to say that you're welcome, and I'm gonna give you a hug.
And again, this is why I don't talk. I mean, come on.
Emily is going to hug him back and lift his feet off the ground. And I don't know if I have to roll strength on that.
No, he's small enough. You'd better pick him up, unless he resisted, of course. But...
Nah.
So yeah,
I can imagine the little legs go wee.
Yep, pretty much. His little legs will be dangling in the air.
Emily is going to say, "You think you're scared? Imagine if the guard goes through my backpack and find that wolf's here. I'm going to be like, what the fuck?"
Yeah, what would be funny? You should turn into a wolf in front of him. That would be funny.
I don't know if that would be a good idea.
Yeah,
No,
if you do remember the several wolf's heads on pikes in the front of the city.
I think that we saw all of the guards and all the militia and everything last night. I don't think we should do that 2 nights in a row.
Emily, do you have a lot of dead things in your bag?
No, I just have my wolf's mask, the one that I was wearing when
Oh, right. I thought you might carry weird trophies or something, like fingers or ears or dragon's claws or something.
Well, there's a wolf's pelt in there, but since they sold that to me, I don't think that they were confusing too much.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. So, like Adult was saying, Emilia, we all had a discussion after talking with you, and we apologise if you do not feel welcome, and we welcome you to the group properly, and if you'd like any input, feel free to have some input. Isn't that right, Mr. Stibb?
Yeah, why not? Sounds good.
I'm just going to say this. I've talked to 2 people that are very wise tonight, and I've come to the decision that I've sort of been harsh on you guys, and I need to relax a bit more about you guys. I sort of got very insulted by you the other day, Carnos, and that's more me than it is you, but I couldn't let it go. I need to learn to let it go, but I probably can't. But I just want to apologise that I didn't want to rescue you. And
you're actually in the right there. I didn't actually want to be rescued, so you probably had the right idea. Maybe if I'd have relayed my message ideas to the team, would have gone a little bit easier. But hey, we've all made mistakes. Let's all get back to some sort of form of clarity and decision making together. Right?
Okay, I'm just going to sort of be in the background still, but I want you to know that I'm listening. I am still in the background. So.
Right. Plans. Who are our plan makers? We need plans.
Kill. Strahd. That's it, pretty much. Yeah, there you go. Kill Strahd, go home. Carnos into a warforge.
As much Carnos into a warforge, that is a brilliant idea. But as much as killing Strahd is a possibility, there's also the possibility that if we kill him, we all may be stuck here.
When Adok starts talking, Emily is going to put him down.
Thank you. But yeah, if he done this thing, what's going on, if we kill him, who's gonna give us out? Am I making sense?
What? Didn't he make this area thing? Whatchamacallit?
Well, I mean, like normally, like how magic works, like if someone does it, you know, like let's say I build, let's say you build a cannon, or I build a cannon, or we both build a cannon, like a big cannon, right? And then it breaks down, and then we die somehow, probably horribly. Karnos eats us. Let's just say Karnos eats us, and then the cannon breaks down. Who's going to repair the cannon? Do you get what I'm saying?
Actually, no, it makes no sense.
Gadriel,
Adok, you just made your own statement. You guys build a cannon breaks down if you die. It's well created by Strahd.
How big is this cannon? Can you build it now?
Zadriel is writing notes for her oath tomorrow on the desk and drinking wine and listening.
We couldn't build a cannon here. It cost too bloody much.
Yeah, that's true. Everything costs a lot. I actually have had a lot of money in my time, and while we've been here, it seems to be depleting quite rapidly.
Getting arrested probably didn't help.
Well, I'm not really sure how that works now, because we didn't have to pay a fine because we got arrested altogether. Nothing's been paid for yet, and to do what we have to do for said Baron, correct me if I'm wrong, Zadriel, but would we not have to get our gear back to do any of... I don't know. I don't actually know what's going on here.
You'd get your gear back and you wouldn't have to pay. You're welcome.
Yeah, good job. Good job, Zadriel. Well, you mean, you're a god. It should be good, right? Everything you do is right.
No, not so much.
Not so much. How's them thingies work then? Is it the wing things? You just like bring them out when you want. You can fly like a bird.
I can fly. You know what an Aztemar is? No?
I'm sorry, did you just swear at me?
Yes. That is what I am.
I don't think I know what an asthma is.
I think she said like Aslama.
Azama.
Is it? Yeah, I mean, some sort of angelic godlike thing, because that was pretty impressive.
It's like a celestial, like the opposite of Skatus, basically.
So, okay, so he's real bad and you're real good.
I don't think he's too bad. He's nice.
Yeah, I was going to say Skatus hasn't made anyone's head explode.
Really?
That's true.
Tempted to do another one.
So if Skatus is not too bad, and you're the opposite of Skatus, that makes you not too good. I'm still confused. I thought only angelic creatures or heavenly creatures had wings. I'm starting to get confused. Are you some sort of princess of a god?
Like when an angel, it's... I have the blood of an angel in my veins, kind of thing. So I have a little bit of powers, and I can talk to, they call them devas. They talk to me in my sleep sometimes, and you know.
You talk to devils?
No, devas, like angelic beings, like a guide kind of thing.
Okay, that makes a bit more sense.
So you're a direct conduit to the heavenly... I'm not an atheist, of course, but I was a bit skeptical of all that kind of stuff, but I do apologise. That is... no wonder you're 100% built for leading.
I don't think I'm 100%. It didn't go too well last night, did it?
No, but...
it did pretty good.
Maybe if your followers were following your lead to the letter, it might have been better.
As long as I don't piss off my DM, we will be good and follow my tenants and And it should all work out, I hope. We'll see it back tomorrow.
So is the plan you pretty much say to the Baron, righto buddy, my oath is yours, my crew is yours, and we're going to do basically what he asks of us.
I am going to pledge to him, but I am not going to let... You are your own people. You do not have to.
I'm not the brightest cookie in the can of cookies, in the jug of cookies, in the I don't know what the cookies got to do with it.
We understand. We understand. You're an idiot. Now move on.
Yeah, but I do have some good ideas once in a while, and I was kind of thinking, the Baron's exact words were to do what's right by Valaki, not do what's right by the Baron. Is that not what you are oathing yourself to?
Basically, that's what he told me.
I think that's something to bear in mind. You don't serve one particular person when he says do what's right by Valaki.
Also, if we go back to Lady Vakta, we should probably keep our cards to ourselves a little to see what she has to say and kind of...
Do we kill
We're
her?
just gonna kill her.
Yeah. I feel like Strahd and her have screwed us over.
I feel like
What?
the Baron is going to make us do that anyway.
What? Whoa. Hang on. Wait. Whoa.
You can loot her body and get the 1,000 gold. There's
Wait, hey,
more money.
look, that's not what I'm talking about. I was just saying more along the lines of Karnos, what you were saying about make the oath things. I feel like you're on the money there, Karnos. Zadriel, like we could potentially get around this whole doing an oath thing if the wording is a little bit, particular.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that way, if it's what Kano's saying, the best for Valaki, then that would mean that you're taking an oath of what you... I'm going to have another drink of wine after this.
Yeah,
But
basically, she's making an oath to be what's good for the town.
right, which is basically doing whatever you think is best and not serving the Baron. So potentially, what's best for the town could still be killing the Baron.
At this point, though, to keep in his good graces, I feel like we follow what he says to a point, give or take. But yes, being good to Valaki was his words. He said his words, and I'm pretty damn sure I remember it well, was that he said, and I'll have to watch the VOD to be 100% sure, is what he said was, your oath will be to do what's right for Valaki. Under my rules.
You're pretty much correct. He's roll the history check with advantage, just to see how much you recall.
Well, it's going to be pretty damn good. 20, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So yeah, thinking back on it and just trying to figure out what his words were, and he said that he asks you to pledge an alliance to him and to serve Valaki and its people.
Yeah.
So it's not, he wasn't asking for you to pledge an oath to him per se. It was asking for your word as a paladin to help serve Valaki and its people and protect him from Strahd, basically.
I have something I've written down, so let's hope it's good enough for the Baron.
And if you want to roll an insight to get an idea whether you believe that what he was saying was 100% above board, you can all do so. All of you can do so if you wish. Basically, just thinking back on what he said, whether you get the impression whether he was out for himself or whether he was truly out for the people and for what's best for them.
Sweet. Natural 20. 25 insight.
25 insight.
Nice.
2.
Give it 2. Yeah.
15.
15. Carlos?
Carlos isn't taking the check.
Not going to take check. Neither Skathis. Emilia?
I wasn't paying attention, so no.
No, okay. So, anyway, I mean, the 15 and the natural 20, of course. I mean, you guys, Fiddleston probably more so than anything. He definitely seemed like he was more about Valaki and its people than for himself. Looking at his house, standing in his house, you would all notice that it wasn't a mansion. The outside was run down, the inside wasn't much better. It was nice and well kept and clean, but it wasn't like he had a lot of money. That much was evident. This whole region seems to be devoid of a lot of coin. The only place that really looked like it had a lot of money was Lady Vakta's house, the interior of her house. So that in itself gave you the impression that maybe he's more about the people. Decisions he's made, like as far as the stocks now are concerned, definitely dubious, definitely unwise and probably rash or whatever else, but he is probably Fiddlestib, you would probably get this. He's floundering because he doesn't know what to do. He's confused about and probably scared about what Strahd will do if he doesn't try and keep the peace as much as possible. And these festivals seem to be the way.
Between a rock and a hard place, and he doesn't know where to go.
Pretty much. And so he's making decisions that he believes are right. And obviously, after talking to you guys and with Adriel saying what she said about the stocks, you could see that he probably realizes that, hey, maybe that was a little harsh. But then again, you also don't know 100% why they were put in the stocks. He's told you that they were allies of Strahd. So you still don't have all the facts in that particular case.
Did you want to practice runs, Adriel? Maybe, give us a tester of what you're saying, or you're just going to go in cold and see how it works?
Do you want to hear? Well, that kind of takes the. Okay.
Well, no, just give us a roundabout idea.
How about I have some language in the beginning, some language at the end, but the main part is Zadriel Stilron, swear to uphold my tenets while in the service of the Baron Valakovich for as long as it helps the people of Valaki.
That sounds pretty damn onto it. Deliver it with your wings out. That should be pretty impressive.
I don't think she needs the wings out. She's pretty impressive as she is.
The only problem I have with that is the little bit where you pledge to the Baron should be Valaki.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Trash Man.
I mean, just
Scafers.
says to uphold my tenets while in the service of the Baron, should he die, for as long as it helps the people of Valaki. So when it no longer helps the people, I don't have to be in service. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think the way you've worded it actually trickeries. Well, not trickeries, but it sounds like you're doing it for the Baron, when in reality it's worded in a way that you're doing it for Valaki, which is the right thing to do. I think you tripped Adok up, and if you could trip Adok up, you can trip anyone up, right, Mr. Adok?
Well, see, the thing that I'm worried about is the morality of the statement, because it's like, if it's in service for the Baron whilst it's for the good of the people, well, it's like, well, if it benefits some of the people but not all of the people, is that still good? Like the stocks. Obviously, there are some people that probably benefit from the stocks. Does that mean that Zadriel would have to put people into the stocks because that means she's doing something she don't want to do?
That I think is more of a town guard thing. I think what we would be doing is, like, I don't know, getting more money, getting more food, trying to help the town itself, not help the individual people or punish the individual people.
And I think that's where we have a choice to say, if he gives us a duty or we are given a job, we can then, as a group, which we have just agreed to, make a decision together as to how to go about that. And then come together as a group by trying not to do what's wrong for Valaki, but not do what's only in service of the Baron, because she said what's right for Valaki. Yeah, I think we're on the right path, but we need to stick together for it.
Yeah. No, I think it's pretty sound. It's just maybe, it's up to you how stringent your oath is to, but like, sounds good to me. And take another swig of the bottle.
You probably reached the bottom of that bottle by now too. Just there's probably a last mouthful in that bottle. So there probably is, by this stage, probably not a lot of wine left.
I hear you though, and I get your concerns, mate. We don't want to pledge ourselves to the Baron in any way that could make it sound like we have to do his every bidding. I know what you're thinking.
But like what Mr. Stibb said, if we get gold and if we get food, I'm happy.
Gold and food is a good start. Are we actually starting to sound a little more like the heroes I had planned?
I am going to go to bed.
Don't you mean hoped, Carlos? Don't you mean hoped?
Oh, I knew we could all be heroes, mate. I knew. I could see it in all your eyes. It just took a little longer than I expected, but even you, Adolf.
It's only been 12 days.
Well, usually I'm pretty convincing with the hero thing. Of course, I haven't really dealt with any people like what's around this Valaki, Barovia kind of place before.
Sadriala is going to start snowing.
Yeah, it might be good. She might have the right idea.
And it is getting pretty late. The sun has gone down. So for those that wish to tune in, you can turn in this evening.
Just before we turn in, Carnos will just whip over to Fibblesturb and say,
Mr. Sturb, so you talk about Robo fixing my leg somehow. Well, my hip. Do you have some plans?
Oh, I have many plans.
and so I want to look over his plans before we go to bed.
Okay, you're gonna show him.
On me.
No, he doesn't have anything with him at the moment. You guys have nothing on you.
Damn it.
You have the clothes. You have the clothes that are on your back and nothing more.
Skeithus is turning in.
It's such a shame. We should go through those plans when we get our gear back.
Yeah, I can show you Carnos Mark 1, 2, 3. I think I've got up to about 10.
Hopefully I can scrutinise these to be a little less, I don't know, Vaderish, I think it might be the word. Did I just make a new word?
It's canon.
I don't know who he is. But most of the plans I've got, I've in one of them I had your hands actually turn into maces.
There's nothing wrong with my hands, Mr. Stibb. It's my hip section that is the problem.
Well, I thought I would improve everything.
Yeah, okay. Like I say, I'll have a look. I'm trying to show interest here. You're not giving me much hope.
No, look, there was an exoskeleton, but that one kind of got put aside because we don't have the control crystals. Well, I haven't seen any control crystals around here, so I can't do that.
And it's going well over Carnos's head. He's like,
yep.
Okay. I'm getting quite tired now. I'll see you tomorrow.
Do you have any capability to do magic? Because that could be a way to bypass that issue. Yes.
I've been turned into a lot of things in my career, but not directly from myself, no.
Yeah, there was that time that you were foul, we'll say.
Yeah. I was thinking the time I was a pig and a sheep too. There's been a couple of those.
I didn't
Dog.
know about those two.
Yeah, definitely chook like maybe rooster. I can't remember exactly. It was. I mean, you're not really in your own mind. Oh, I see. It's a good joke.
and Carnos goes over to his bunk and sort of just lays down, faces the wall.
Emily was going to say, what you could do is you could have a couple of morning stars on chains come out of his hip region, and then he could swing them around.
Ah, I didn't think of that.
Or a groin cannon.
A groin cannon? You want sparkles on your cannon?
Don't give him too many ideas, Emilia. Can see it's ticking over. Right, good night.
Okay, I'm going to go to bed, and Emily is going to go back into her room and go to bed.
No worries. So Emilia retires to her room. Zadriel's snoring her head off. Skatus, Karnos is in his bed. Skatus and Fibble, you guys are still up. What are you guys up to? And Adok, sorry.
While they were talking, I went to bed.
Okay, so you've gone to bed. Adok and Fibble still awake.
I am going to waddle on over to Scapus. And I'm just gonna poke him until he, like, gently, not hard, until he like faces me. If he does or not, just poke him enough to at least if I get some sort of reaction from him to know he's awake.
Do you react from this incessant poking?
So I roll over with my arm out, grabbing him and bringing him in, cuddling.
So you get dragged onto the bed into a spooning position.
Try to squirm out. Just in sheer shock.
And the more he squirms, the tighter I get.
Strength v dex. So Skatus a strength check and Adok a dexterity check, please.
Could I have a little bit of cheese?
This is gold. So just a d20 plus your strength and a d20 plus your dex.
Yeah, I got an 8.
An 8.
Damn.
What'd you get, Skathers?
5.
So, Adok, you do manage to wriggle out from under this large red scaled arm that reached out and grabbed you as you were poking him.
Just gonna let out an exasperated sigh, and then kind of look at him for a bit and go, kind of like this side of you. Hopefully you keep talking in the morning. No, Scapus. I'm not gonna walk back to the other side.
Yeah.
No.
Sleep.
And he responds.
I'm gonna stop for a bit, not turn around, and then just keep walking.
And Fiddlestip, last left awake. Well, last up.
I'm looking around for paper and a pen to draw up more ideas.
Zadriel did have a piece of parchment and a quill at the table, which she was writing up her little oath speech.
I won't go over that, but like in the scenes and stuff around the speech, drawing, like a crossbow, a mini crossbow that's actually a crutch, and little testicle bowler type thing.
Yeah, so you in and around what Zadriel's written. I mean, you try not to go over it, but you do go over it in some places just accidentally. You think, oh well, she can read around it, and yeah, you draw out some little pictures and draw up some sort of schematical and mathematical problems to try and figure it out. It takes you about an hour or so before you probably start getting a bit tired and have to turn in. So you will all gain the benefits of a long rest, as sometime in the morning you're all woken by a banging on your doors. Emilia on your door and on your communal door, as someone's banging on your doors.
Carlos sits bolt upright and goes, oh, jeez, wow, I was having the craziest freaking dream. I was all made of metal and my leg opened and I pulled out a little crossbow and I was going, serve the Valaki trust, protect the Valaki innocent, uphold the Valaki law. It was maddening. Wow, what is that banging?
Oh, that's great. and eventually the door opens. They don't wait for you to answer, but Valakian guard enter and says, "All right, you lot, time to get up, go visit the Baron and give him your decision. Come on, chop.
Oh, yeah, okay. Start donning my knot armor.
And as you all wake up, they reshackle you in the front, this time not behind. They shackle your wrists and escort you from the inn back towards the Baron's place. So again, you're flanked, led by Isek, flanked by 4 Valakian guard and 4 of the militia, the township militia. Different ones from the night before, but still the same sort of scenario. Takes you some time, not too long, but it takes some time to get to the Baron's house. You're led back through the front doors and back into the same room that you were the previous day, where the Baron and his wife are sitting. The dogs aren't there this time, it's just the Baron and his wife. Isaac takes his place to the Baron's immediate left. His wife is on his right. And you are led sort of to a similar position you were the previous day. He then nods to you all and starts to speak. He says to you all, firstly, apologies for the use of the shackles, but of course if you do not agree to my offer, then you will be banished, as we agreed. And so therefore the shackles are for yours and our safety. So, you've had an evening to yourselves to discuss your decision. I trust you have come to the right one.
Yes, and I am going to spread my wings, but they'll be folded next to me. And I'm going to kneel on one knee and say, close my eyes and say, Carpe diem. I am the hammer, the mail about his feast, the point of his spear, the bane of his foes. I am the end. I, Zadriel Silran, swear to uphold my tenets while in the service of Baron Vargas Valakovich for as long as it helps the people of Valaki. Honor to the name of he who places himself as a shield between his brethren and the forces of evil. And I will rise and step back.
Karnos would have taken a knee as Zadriel did, but he would be twisting to face like sort of the rear of Zadriel as opposed to facing the Baron.
No problem. Anyone else doing the same?
Yeah. I'll kind of look around a bit confused at what Karnos is doing, and the others, and kind of follow suit.
Emily will be kneeled on both knees with her head bowed.
Fibbleston?
I'll just be standing there going, I'm already this height, I'm not getting any lower.
Of course. With that, once you finish your oath, do you stand or do you remain kneeling?
I'll stand and step back.
As you stand and step back, you, if your eyes meet the Baron's, you will see that he has not a confused look, but not one of joy or happiness either. It's sort of almost nondescript, but he sort of cocks his head to one side for a moment, raises an eyebrow, and looks at you all and says, well, I think this will be acceptable. You have chosen correctly and wisely to serve Valaki and its people. And while I am the Baron here, you will be a friend to Valaki. Now, as agreed, you have offered your assistance in aiding us against the agents of Strahd and Strahd himself. The family was released from the stocks maybe an hour ago. They are being fed and taken care of, and will be allowed to go home. I have also decreed that the Festival of the Blazing Sun, which was to take place this very morning, will be cancelled, as I have it on good authority from many people that these festivals have not really done what I'd hoped. My hope is now that with heroes such as yourself aiding this city and its people, that there'll be no need for these events in the future. I've always said all will be well, but to be frank, I'm terrified. I'm terrified of Strahd. I'm terrified of his allies and what they can do. And this has clouded my judgment in some things. And he then motions to Essek, who motions to the guards standing behind you, and they step forward to start unshackling Fiddlestep.
Baron, don't cancel the event. Have it, but don't make it mandatory. If people want to go and celebrate something that could make them happy, so be it. If not, you've got all this work into it. You might as well use it.
You see him sort of think about it for a moment as you're all being unshackled and having your gear handed back to you. Your armor and stuff is being paired with your belongings, and it's basically dropped at your feet. And he looks at you, Fiddlestep, and he says, "That is a wise decision, I think. I shall do this. We will not hold it today, as I think we have other things to celebrate and to deal with. But in 5 days' time, I will remove current posters and put new ones up, inviting the townspeople to the event of the Blazing Sun, instead of forcing them to come. And we will see what happens in 5 days. In the meantime, you are free to do what you wish within the town of Valaki. The stocks will remain. We will still use them as a punishment, but in future we will use them for a punishment fitting of the stocks, rather than for petty crime. We'll be revisiting the fines imposed on the people. As you can see, there is not much gold left in Barovia. I myself don't really have a lot. What I do have, I give to the families that need it. What you do about Lady Vakta is a choice that you can make of your own volition.
Do I believe him about giving money to the family who need it?
Roll insight.
Yeah, can I roll insight on that too?
Yep, roll insight. Anyone who wishes to insight check that?
Got a measly 10.
10?
18.
18. Carlos,
Dirty 1.
Yeah, you can't tell it all, Adok. You're sort of looking at him going, huh?
I'm suffering of a hangover.
Yeah, pretty much, definitely. Fiddlestep, you find it sort of hard to tell as well. He seems on the level, but you just can't really tell. Anyone over a 15 would, he's on the level. Anyone under a 15, you're just not sure.
Just nat 20, by the way.
You 100% are certain that he's telling the truth.
23.
Another nat 20.
Lady Vokta will probably be sending out spies on us, or she has a messenger of some kind.
Yes, Ernest.
Hmm.
Yes, her messenger. He's not a messenger. He is a spy. He is an assassin. And I suppose a messenger as well. But he does not work without her approval. If she is really after removing me from this seat, which I don't believe she would do so openly, which is probably why she offered the gold to you as being outsiders. I don't think she's an immediate threat to me. But, as I say, if you wish to investigate her and deal with her in your own fashion, I would not stop you.
Do you feel she will be coming after us once she finds out?
If she believes you have sided with us and the people of this city against Strahd, I don't know that she would come after you directly, but I think she would definitely start to make things difficult for you here. Possibly.
So we will be alright if that little dude or that woman was to be offed by us, we would not be jailed for it, is what we're saying?
As long as it wasn't an overtly public display.
Right, that makes sense, yeah.
If it was relatively public, we would have to be seen to be doing something.
So if her house, say, suddenly exploded all over the place...
You can see him crack a smile at this point. You can see he's trying not to, but you can see the corner of his lips just sort of break there for a second.
That would be a no?
Do you remember the cow? No.
Why?
He tries to ignore the comment. You can see he kind of breaks a little bit, but he just says...
I'm just trying to gauge limits here. That's
as I said, the discretion is a better part of valor.
Do you know how many guards or people she has working for her?
I believe she has her sons, and obviously Ernest. She may have some other staff at the house, but if she was to be able to contact Strahd, then who knows how many allies she would potentially have. Strahd is very powerful. We have not had any major issues with him in Valaki for some time, but we have had sightings.
Can I just say, now that we're like heroes and that, can I get a cup of water?
Of course. He sort of motions to one of the guards who leaves the room, and maybe 5-10 minutes later comes back with a pitcher of water and some cups.
Right, thank you. Yeah, also, oh shit, it's bright. Yeah.
Are you okay?
We need money. Well, no, we need money. We're broke. Well, we're heroes. You can't have heroes broke.
Well, as you can see, we don't have a lot, and we have counted what's in your bag, so you do have money. We took an inventory of what you have. So you do have enough for the time being, but if Lady Vakta was to say, well, you know, then
no, I don't know.
To the victor go the spoils.
I'm gonna knock it up and go.
If Lady Vakta suddenly exploded, her house is ours.
Fantastic. Right, thank you. That's all I need to know. Oh, third thing. Is there, you kind of did like a bit of a turnaround unexpectedly. I didn't expect you to say what you've said and did what you've done. Is there a possibility that maybe you and Strahd are just not seeing eye to eye? Because maybe you aren't like Like, Strahd a bad dude?
Well, I've never met the man personally, but stories from generation to generation of his deeds, adventurers such as yourself being lured into these lands never to return home. I'm sure you've heard the stories or even seen the march from Barovia.
Yeah, it's just for what I've gathered, and the reason why, for some reason he's thinking that you're not doing well for the people of Valaki, but you are doing now well for people. But I feel like maybe you two just need to sit down like chums over beer and just talk it out. Maybe
you should sit down with Strahd and talk it out. Maybe you should see for yourself.
But could do that, yeah.
I, for one, have no intention of sitting across a table from that thing. Calling him a man is an extension of the truth. He has not been a man for over 400 years.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't mean to be out of place. I don't want to discredit what you're saying. I'm a man of facts, and
Well, the fact is that this town has suffered at the hands of Strahd. Its people remain within these city walls because they're afraid to venture out after dark. Most that do never return. If they do return, they're not the same. That is about all I can offer you.
All right, I will keep that in mind about him. Thank you for the water and the weapons.
Let's hope that these weapons and your skill can be put to great use.
We'll just have a look at Lady Vakta's house after we're done with it.
If it would please you, I would prefer not to be privy to your plans. The less I know, the better.
Would it be better for you if we were to bring Lady Vakta alive to you?
Definitely, we if she was brought to trial for her alliance, you would have to find proof of her allegiance to Strahd. However,
yeah,
if we were to have that kind of evidence, we could definitely put her on public trial and deal with her accordingly.
Okay. Wait. Is it that she's allied with Strahd, so that makes her bad, or is it? Is it actually a law that being allied with Strahd is bad?
The thing is, if she is allied with Strahd, then she has most certainly done things that have compromised this town and the people who live within it. We've had children go missing. We've had people go missing. If we could find some correlation between the two.
So it's not that it's illegal for you to be with Strahd, but causing things to make Strahd stronger.
Of course, it's not illegal to be allied with Strahd. I mean, we cannot make these rules.
It's just that you said a legal court thing, and I'm just going, well, wait a minute, would that be possible?
The thing is, when I say public trial, I mean more a public display.
Okay, I can do that.
A public display of what happens to those that align themselves with the devil.
Well, with the right evidence, I think we might be able to do that. We'll do our best.
Lady Zadriel quite eloquently put, those that are evil need to be destroyed. Lady Vakta, I believe, is an agent of evil. Her family has been allied with Strahd for many generations. He himself is evil, making a pact with the Shadowfell to gain the power that he now has. You've heard the stories, I'm sure. The reason we are here is because of him. The reason we have not seen a sun in generations is because of him. He fears it.
have guards all over town. Do you know of a... does his Ernest and his sons, do they have patterns of where they go at night, or would it be the best time to
Ernest
maybe
is always
slip in?
Ernest is always skulking around town somewhere, doing something for his master. The sons are troublemakers and have spent many a night in the cells because of it. She always pays their fines and has them removed, of course. But they've never really gotten themselves into major trouble.
So if they were to go in for something drunken disorderly or something, we could probably slip in unnoticed in the house.
They do frequent the inn on occasion. I'm not sure if you've seen them there in the time that you've been there, but they're normally there drinking and causing trouble with the hunters, normally. They're both spoon-fed layabouts with not a brain between them.
Thank you for your help, Baron. We will get our armor together and get started, I think.
I have one question.
Oh my god, it speaks. And your question?
Do they go out during the day? Or is it only night?
They're out during the day.
That's all.
Lady Bhakta does not come to the town very often. She has her staff and her sons do that sort of thing for her. She remains at her home. Much like we do, we don't really spend a lot of time in town.
You may want to change that. Be seen by your people doing things for your people. You need to change your image to this town.
Again, probably not a stupid idea. It will take some time for me to adjust to new things, of course. But as I said, I will not admit this openly, of course, but I am deathly afraid of what will happen if we do not do something soon. I believe Strahd is growing impatient with the way things are happening here in Barovia. And with heroes such as yourselves in this land that, to me, seem more capable of potentially freeing us, he will be watching. And at this point he stands and bows very deeply to all of you. Like it's the first sign of any kind of humility or humbleness from this otherwise very you can tell he's highborn, he's noble. His family's been probably a nobility in these lands for generations, and it's unusual for him. And you can see it's a little awkward too for him to show any kind of allegiance to anyone else but his family or for his position. And then he walks directly up to you, Zadriel, grabs both your hands and looks you directly in the eye and just softly says, "Thank you. I appreciate everything that you and your friends will do."
Curtsy deeply and pat him on the hand, and I will start to take my leave.
And he then backs off and comes back up to full height, very regal, and stands with his hands clasped in front of him, and he says, "Well, I will bid you all good day. I appreciate everything. If you do need assistance for certain things, obviously a lot of the guard will not be able to be involved in the less legal actions, but if you are to keep the guard abreast of your movements and what you are doing, then we will offer what assistance we can." Now, if you excuse me, I have other matters to attend and get things underway to change the festival posters and the day. And he looks to you, Philosoph, and nods with recognition to your suggestion. And then him and his wife exit the room, leaving Essek and a couple of guards. And Essek actually steps forward at this point and just looks at you all and actually smiles for the first time that any of you have seen, like a proper smile. Emilia probably saw a bit of it the night before, but it's kind of awkward for him too. You can see he's always held that position of authority, and intimidation's been probably a friend of his for quite some time. So he gives a little bit of a smile and says, "Well done. I have not seen the Baron quite this relaxed in some time." Very much Terminator 2 smile, indeed.
As he's smiling, Emily is going to catch his eye, and she's smiling as well. It's not a case of flirting; it's a case of what they have talked about the night before.
Yeah.
She is understanding it and believing it.
Okay. Cool. And he will definitely notice that. And he then says, "Well, the day is now yours to do with what you wish. I mentioned to your friends, I don't know if they told you, you said your friends, Karnos, I believe it is, and Fibblestick, the windmill, which you said you had burnt down, yes?
Yes.
I sent a scouting party out when we spoke to confirm what I had saw myself, but I wish to make sure, and it still stands. So I am a little confused. But again, thank you for agreeing to side with Baron. This is good choice.
Thank you, Essek.
If you need my assistance, please do not hesitate.
We will probably let you know of what we're up to, since you're sort of the lead of the guard, right?
Of course, that would be greatly appreciated.
Next time Lady Vodka's kids get locked up, can you get word to us?
Of course. It happens often, so it would not be long.
I think I can help that, Mr. Stibb. I have a plan. A cunning plan. A plan so cunning.
No, your cunning plans normally end up with us killing people.
I think we take them out drinking.
That's exactly what my cunning plan was.
What,
Well, I mean me.
Knock them off while they're sleeping.
No, get them in jail. Get them like what happened to me, right? Drunk and disorderly, and then that leaves the house pretty much empty.
Yeah, Essek at this point says, if you will excuse me, I probably should not be privy to this conversation.
Oh, we're walking and talking.
So as you are led out, you are discussing this. You are led out of the room, and then a couple of the Baron's staff then lead you to the front door. You have all of your weapons and your items returned, your armor, which you can don at any point. And the day is yours to do it with your wish. It is early morningish, 10:30. It is a overcast, sullen day, as it always is in the land of Barovia. It is not raining, however, this day. Probably the first time it hasn't rained or drizzled in the 12-day, or now 13. You're on your 13th day. In 12 couple of weeks that you've been here in Barovia. You now have some information, and you still have the invitation to Strahd for dinner to ponder and discuss, decide on what you're going to do. You also now have some information about Lady Vakta. As you come through, heading northward from the Baron's house and approach the town square, first thing you do notice is the stocks are empty. They are open. There are no guards around the stocks. Obviously, there's no one in them, so there's no need for any guard. The wicker sun that is in the centre of the town is completed. And you notice the guards and some of the militia are now wandering around pulling down the old posters. They're not putting any new ones up yet. They haven't had time to have them made, but they're pulling down the festival posters. And as the confused look from some of the townsfolk, and some of the guards are informed, okay, look, it's the festival's going ahead. It's going to be in a week's time, and you are all invited as the Baron's guests. And the look on their faces sort of tells it all. They're a little bit puzzled, kind of shocked. Some sort of even smile when they hear that they're being invited as the Baron's guests rather than being forced to go. So there is a different air about the town square as you start moving through.
Seeing the people and hearing that, Alex just gonna yell from the distance and go, "You're welcome. That was us."
You get a few sideways looks. You do get a few sideways looks. A couple of people sort of give a half-hearted sort of wave, but most of them just ignore you and carry on with their day.
Can't nudge Adolf and go.
It was actually the Baron. We just gave him the idea.
Yeah, well, same sort of kind of. It's just how heroes do it. I'm still trying to get a hang of it.
You've got to give it to the Baron. We need to give it to the Baron. He needs this win.
Well, I think so. I think Mr. Stibb is right, Adolf. Yes, this was Fibble's idea somewhat, but it was all of us underhandedly feeding him some information and getting him to come to our way of thinking. So it's not quite how heroes do it, but Mr. Stibb is right. If we let him take this, it looks good for the people. It looks good for him, I believe.
If there are no guards around, I lean in and say we need to talk about Strahd. I don't want to go to Lady Vakta's and possibly end her before we talk to Strahd. It's going to make things worse.
Yeah, good idea. I was thinking the same thing.
We should probably do that first, maybe?
Also, that goddamn windmill. If those witches are back and taking kids again, that's a problem as well.
Yes, one was left, I think.
Do we deal with that first? But first, maybe get some supplies to make sure that this windmill doesn't resurrect itself.
Sorry, Ed, I've got your armor ordered too. We should probably pick that up as well, mate.
I was just about to say that, and I was also about to say, if you want, I'm pretty stealthy. I remember my way back to Windmill. I can go check on it myself, if you want.
Always stick together with someone else. So who else is stealthy?
We're going to start walking to the armory or wherever it's...
To the blacksmith, which is not far from where you are, so it won't take long.
Scapus doesn't talk that much, so he's pretty stealthy.
No, he's talking. He's talking now. You're talking now, right, Scapus?
Looks sideways at Adolf. No.
It does.
Well, he talked. He said no.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, you don't talk, and no, you don't want to go.
He's fine.
I don't know anymore.
Fibble, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, mate. We've got him open. Just let him just gradually lead the horse gently to the water. We can't drown him, yeah?
And then flog the shit out of him until he drinks?
People's not good with livestock. Don't give him that.
Okay, Zedriel, I have to ask, what's this about the damn cow?
You know what? We'll save that story for when we're drinking again because it's pretty graphic.
You were all privy to that story when you guys all first met.
I just want to bring it up again.
So we agree Strahd before Vaktar, yeah? So we send an invite back that we're coming, or no? Yeah.
Holy crap, I've got a host for 381 viewers. Holy shit, Mil.
Nice.
Hello.
Hi.
First thing Emily is going to do when she gets her stuff back is go through her bag and just make sure all her letters are there. I'm just going to add that in there.
Yep. As you guys go through your gear, Everything is definitely there. Nothing's missing. All the gold you had is still there. Any weapons that you had is still there. Your flasks are still there. They still have the liquid. They still have the same amount of liquid in them. Everything you guys had on your person when you were arrested is was given back to you as they said they would. They definitely haven't taken anything. Nothing's missing. They haven't even taken the 100 gold for the fine of the initial infraction. It seems that has been waived with the alliance that you've now formed with Baron Vargas. So you head to the blacksmith and pick up Adok's armor. Probably no need to roleplay that particular thing. It was ordered. You paid for it. One of his sons, as you approach and ask for it, finds it and gives it to you.
And I give him the second half.
Second half of the payment.
I paid him half up front.
Yep, certainly did. And I can't remember his name. I still got that written down somewhere else. Yep, where you go.
I was to say Adok with just at the back as well.
Yep. Yeah, of course, yeah. Well, he wasn't there, so you were lucky. It was just his son. So you could probably see that he wasn't really anywhere to be seen, which is pretty good. So with that, you then head to the back to the inn, I'm assuming, to put your armor on, because you probably haven't really had anywhere to actually put your armor back on at this point. You're just carrying it with you. Once at the inn, you collect yourselves, you store what you need to store, you put your armor and everything on, set your weapons, get everything ready for your day. So what are you going to do for the rest of this day?
Zadriel, do we know how long it's going to take to get to Strahd's dinner, lunch, whatever it is we're doing?
I didn't ask a messenger about that. Did
no, but you guys would have an understanding of roughly how long it would take. It takes about an hour, and to an hour and a half to get to the windmill. From the windmill to the Castle Ravenloft, which is near Barovia, so it'd be about a 3-hour journey.
Oh, so if the windmill is on the way, do we check the windmill first?
Yeah, that sounds logical to me.
Do we organize like a carriage or something so that we can get around faster? Because 3-hour walk is pretty long for me.
I just hate to think about how much like a 3-hour journey is going to cost. That's all. Or 6-hour, 5-hour journey in a carriage. Everything's dear here.
Well, I can talk, Zadriel, if you wish, I could talk to a stable master or maybe something like that and see if we can either hire or purchase.
It is at this point, Karnos, as you guys are discussing taking Strahd up on his offer, you receive a message, just a voice in your mind, the voice of Strahd himself. Greetings, my friend.
God,
I am glad to hear that you have accepted my invitation. A carriage, you say. One will be waiting for you at the crossroads.
Holy Bashaba. Is that you, Mr. Strahd?
You get no more response.
Are you hearing voices again, Karnos?
You talking to the DM?
I'm not exactly. I feel like it sounded a lot like Strahd-ish. Says there's at the crossroads will be a carriage waiting for us as soon as we are ready.
Which you know is pretty much not far from the windmill. It was a crossroads you came to at the bridge of the river, which one way led to the castle, the other one led to the road to Valaki.
Has he been listening to you this whole time?
I do not know. It is a little weird.
I start patting myself down.
Yeah, I would like to cast Detect Magic as well.
Detect Magic? apart from anything that's magical on you guys, you don't see anything.
All right, something's weird here. I don't know what's going on, but there's no magic.
Hold on a minute. Who else has talked to Strahd? Amelia, you said you had talked to Strahd. Did you hear that as well?
Did I hear that?
No, you did not.
No, didn't hear that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
The message that you hear, Emilia, is, I look forward to seeing you again, my dear.
You actually roll to see whether or not you see her blushing or not.
Those actually will go on passive perceptions. Who has the highest passive perception?
Probably me.
Probably Emilia. Who's the next highest after that? So, what's your passives, guys?
13.
10,
13.
13, 11.
Adok wins with the 9.
We're going for highest, not lowest.
Yeah. So, what's yours, Fibble? Yours is pretty low too, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got 12.
12. So, yeah, Skathis is probably the only one that would maybe see a tinge of pink come across her cheeks.
You all right there, Amelia?
I just thought of something. Never mind. Don't worry.
Okay, you just seem a little flustered, that's all.
It's still this really attractive red dragon looking person.
Okay.
So, just out of question, Skathis, if me and you had children, would they be furbies?
Oh my god.
What now?
Skathis just go a darker shade of red.
I think so. I think he did. I think Skathis might be blushing a little bit.
We'll go with that, yeah.
You should ask if the Baron has any, sons or something. You could be a highborn lady.
I don't need to be royalty. I don't need to be highborn.
Okay, so do the meal then. And I don't think we need anything else here in town.
I just need somewhere to put my armor on nicely if we're headed back to our rooms, because I don't want to get changed in the street.
Yeah, you probably get arrested for indecency and exposure and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, none of us have really. I mean, Zedril, you would normally wear quite a fair amount of armor as well, do you not?
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah, it takes like 10 or 15 minutes for me to get all my shit on, so just,
And with that,
never used this armor before, so it's going to be a bit tight and stuff.
It'll be stiff. It'll be stiff, and brand new leather. So it's. Did we determine whether it was just standard leather or studded or what?
I believe it was.
I think it was studded. Or was it just standard? Just a standard leather.
I can look that up. Back through my gears.
I'm pretty sure it was just standard. Yeah.
Oh, didn't blacksmith say to his son that he used to stud it? I don't remember.
No, I don't think it was studded leather.
Right. Never mind then.
But anyhow, as you carry on walking, you do eventually get to the inn. You go to your respective rooms, and you all redon your armor. Adok puts on his nice new leather armor. It fits very well. The measurements were pretty well spot on. It's very well made. Despite there not being a lot of money in Valaki and around Barovia, this is very well made indeed. The stitching is nice and straight, and the stud work that is on it, the parts that hold bits and pieces of the armor together, is very well done. It's a nice fit, so add that to your inventory so you will adjust your AC accordingly. Everyone else, you don your armor. Skathis is about the only one that doesn't, because he doesn't wear any. But you do get your pack back, and I dare say you probably go through your pack, make sure everything's there. You check it. Karnas probably checks everything twice just to be sure.
Yep. Definitely leather armor, I found it.
It is, yeah, okay. Yep. And with that, you prepare yourselves to head out to have dinner with one Strahd, one Zarovich, and checking the windmill along your journey. And that's where we'll call tonight's session, guys. Pretty much a good place to call it. And we'll pick up next week, next Wednesday, unless we have other things to turn up. But at this stage, next Wednesday night, we'll be picking up where we left off with the group heading out to dinner with royalty. Guys, great session. Lots of interesting moments tonight. Funny and rude as per usual, as with this group. But some good moments. And again, awesome roleplay as usual. Well done with the dealing with the Baron and everything else. I wasn't entirely sure how that was going to sort of pan out, and I wasn't sure which way I was going to go with that until I rolled a dice, but it all worked out pretty cool. Chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us again tonight. Appreciate it. Thank you for the follows and the biddies. We had a raid. Twitch plays D&D with a raid. Piper Halliwell with 100 bits. Thank you so much. We had Plot Points with a follow. Abby Marie with a follow. Legend and Song with a follow. Bar Wenchman with a follow, and Defacities with a follow, and a host, a massive host there. 380 odd viewers. We was sort of right at the end, but we do appreciate the follows and the hosts and everything else. We hope you guys enjoyed what you did see. If you do want to catch previous episodes of both the Curse of Strahd and our homebrew campaign, which we do on a Sunday, !YT in the chat will give you the YouTube link, which will give you access to all those VODs. They are posted the day after the live show, so tomorrow night this VOD will be available on YouTube. Check out the Discord, the Twitter, the Instagram, all that sort of stuff. Come and hang out with us when you can. Smash that follow button, sub button if you can, or just hang out, because that's what we really care about. We don't really give a crap about anything else. So, as per usual, we will go around our players here and get some moments from tonight's game. So we're going to start with Mr. Skathis tonight. And let's get a standout moment or two from you, Mr. Trashman.
That's a hard one.
There was a lot tonight.
Yeah. I have to go with Fibble, and he's just nuts on plans and, yeah, just that. Any scrap of paper. Doesn't matter what it is. Yeah, so
Yep.
yeah, have to do that.
Fibblestib's planning of the crotch cannon.
Yep.
Definitely. Well done. Mr. Or Mrs. Emilia, or Miss Emilia, should I say. Mr. Drax, a moment or two from you, sir.
I've got quite a few, but most of them are revolving around Skathis and Addock fighting, ending up with them spooning together.
Definitely.
There's Fibble saying, "I'm already this height, I'm not getting any lower." That cracked me up good.
Definitely,
And
yes.
And when you had the Baron say, "It speaks," I said, "It speaks," at the exact same time as I heard you say it.
Nice.
I was just like, awesome. Exactly what I'm thinking.
Beautiful. Yeah, that was some good moments. And Zadriel.
I liked Carnos desperately trying to make up amends with Emilia and the Addock biting him and everything like that. And I also liked Emilia's hitting on half the men in the town. That was fun.
Yes, so I must say I did not expect the conversation that I had Essek had with Emilia. That kind of threw me for a little bit, just for a moment. But yeah, it was not so. I was expecting something completely different. Just like, well, okay, didn't expect it to go there, but oh well. Addock, Mr. Roasting Chicken down there.
I have to say, my favorite fucking moment of this entire night was Zadriel casting Chatter on Skathis right when he was in the crux of being frustrated and breaking his valor signs, and we did it. He's finally talking. That was, to me, I was like, thank you, Zadriel. Thank you, Skathis. Hell yeah. We've done it.
Thank you,
High fives
Trashman, for
around.
making that transition with the character, because that was awesome, dude. Well
So
timed.
good. Yeah. That for me, I was like, yes, that was awesome.
It will make things a little easier now that he's speaking a bit more.
Just a little bit more, but it's still better than none.
Maybe.
Right, Mr. Fibblesip.
Yeah, the Skaithus actually breaking his vow of silence was pretty cool. Emilia being on heat. Zadriel's way of using her words, the actual
the oath, yeah, that was well
the
done.
oath she did, it was actually, I really liked the oath. It sounded really good.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, he wasn't asking for her to pledge an oath because her oath is to her deity. Basically, what he was asking was for her word as a paladin, and she did that brilliantly, and I thought that was really well played.
I just got to say that all the smut started with Baz. It's all his fault. I'm going with that.
Well, that is sort of the pre-smut was sort of led on to the game, obviously. And I'm not going to blame Baz for that. I'm going to blame all you fuckers for that. That's a regular occurrence with this panel of people. And I'm not going to take no blame because I'm just as bad as the rest of you. So, of course, lastly and not leastly, Mr. Karnos, aka Orbazm.
Yeah, look, everything that everyone said has been really good tonight. For me, a standout was probably one of the opening lines from Fibblestib about Adok not being a cunning linguist. I thought that was quite good.
He stuck that in there really well.
Yeah, definitely put it in the right place. And I really did like the Adok Skaithus sort of back and forth. But actually, the whole group really just having a sort of banter with each other on and off, and it was pretty rough, but it sort of brought everyone together as well, seemingly.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the one thing that stood out for me too, was we've had for essentially 12 in-game days where the group has been somewhat fractured pretty much from day one. I mean, they've come together with the impression of completing this job or mission or quest in saving Ismark and Irina, and then all this other stuff's been piled in on top of them in the meantime. And I mean, the overall objective is still there. They definitely, the overall outcome is to save Irina, obviously. That's what they were initially there for. But then it's sort of got clouded with all these other things. You've had, obviously, the dealings with Lady Vakta, the Baron, what's going on in Valaki, the windmill, the Durst Manor, and everything, all the strange things that are happening in this land, and still trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Is Strahd the bad guy? Is he not the bad guy? Is the Baron the bad guy? Or is Lady Vakta the bad guy? There's all these different things being thrown at you, and you're still trying to figure out exactly what's going on. And that moment sort of come to a head in this moment where Karnos got a plan, didn't tell anyone. The rest of the group decided on a plan and got themselves all arrested, and essentially the plan kind of worked anyway, regardless of how the way to get there, the outcome sort of pretty much got what you want. You got the family out of the stocks, you've gotten more information about Strahd, you've gotten some information about the Baron now, which gives you a bit more insight into what's happening within the Valaki itself. And now you can sort of focus on, okay, what do we do next? What is Strahd all about? And all that sort of shit. So, it is. I mean, it was a completely, like, taking the long way around the lake kind of thing. Instead of taking the boat through the center and getting to the other side, you just took the long 5-hour walk around the outside to get to where you got. So, but it was entertaining as all hell. And that's the cool thing about it. So, well done to the players once again. Another great show. Thank you so much to the viewers for hanging out with us as per usual. We always enjoy seeing your lovely faces. Well, not really, your names in the chat. Guys, milestone, level 5 or 6, whatever your next level is, for gaining the alliance with the Baron. Except for that magic guy, he's a flog. We don't like that magic dude. He's weird. We love you, magic. You shut up. So Who are we going to raid, guys? Let's see who. Should we raid another D&D'er this evening? We did someone that wasn't D&D last time. Got D&D mini painting and chat. Live Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. Oh, how long have they been running for? An hour. I think we're going to raid these guys. The GM Steph. They're doing Descent into Avernus. That. They've only got 6 viewers. Don't know what. They're on episode 12 as well, so they've been doing it for a little while. So we'll definitely raid these guys. Like I said, guys, Sunday night we'll be back for the homebrew campaign. So make sure you come and check us out for that. Same time, 7:30 New Zealand Standard Time. Come and hang out with us for the next episode of the Paradigm Bold homebrew campaign, where I believe our party has just defeated a general of Asmodeus in one Soma city, the Yuan Ti. We'll be rejoining them in the aftermath of that particular battle and see where they go from there. Until then, everyone have a great evening and a great rest of your week. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming any games this week. Hunter's still at home, so probably Hunter goes to his dad's on the weekend, so probably next week we'll do some gaming streams during the week as well, because there's going to be no kids here. It's going to be great. But we will see you on Sunday. Bye.